University. And as police clear encampments, more protests erupt at campuses across the country.
Fox has now learned that DOJ officials are concerned with what we are seeing on campuses, and there are discussions underway about potential civil rights investigations. No probes have been announced yet, and the DOJ won't say if or when one will be opened.
Fox Business's Madison Allworth at NYU, where tents remain. President Biden says he's not rethinking Mideast policy because of the protests. Meantime, right outside the White House, protesters holding a large banner that reads, "Stop sending arms to Israel." Former President Trump blaming what he calls radical left lunatics for campus protests. He's back in court for day 10 of his New York trial after holding 2 rallies yesterday.
It was nice to be able to campaign one day without being in this ridiculous show trial.
The judge holding a hearing earlier on more possible gag order violations, but no ruling yet. America is listening to Fox News.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
85 should do it for the high this afternoon. We'll keep an eye out for a couple of scattered thunderstorms, non-severe. Otherwise, partly sunny and windy. Again, 85 for the high. Tonight, some scattered showers, some non-severe thunderstorms around 62. Friday, maybe a leftover shower or thunderstorm first thing in the morning Friday. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine, slightly cooler, 75. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Get ready, folks. Lakeside Renovation and Design is thrilled to invite you to our showroom open house event on Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's the remodeling event of the year. Unlock massive savings in our event thanks to exclusive partnerships with top vendors and suppliers, delicious catering from Sugar Fire, and fantastic giveaways throughout the day. Turn your remodeling dreams into reality. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Lakeside Renovation and Design, where your dream home becomes reality.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash that you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the TrueHold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993. That's 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage available at Navage.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Just understand that that's the way it's going to go. We do not allow the inmates to run the asylum in the state of Florida. And if you can't abide by the rules that we have in place for conduct, then we will show you the door and you will be expelled. It is that simple. That's what we're going to do.
Ron DeSantis saying what they're going to do in Florida. That's what we need to do across the country. And, of course, Ron DeSantis can't do that for the country. But we are going to have to put pressure on those places that generally exist under Democrat rule and reign, where you see a lot of these wild protests unfolding. Is this getting, Brad, is in your estimation of watching the news, is it getting worse or is it getting better?
The protests? I think this is
the situation.
I think this is the drop and flop moment.
Drop like a
kid. So whenever
like a LeBron thing?
No, LeBron is just the flop.
I don't even watch the NBA. I know just enough about the NBA and Michael Jordan to want to make fun of LeBron for flopping.
That dude is the biggest, strongest guy I've seen play basketball outside of Shaq.
Flippity floppity.
And oh my gosh, if a 5'4" guy runs into him or brushes up against him, he's like, ah, and he falls on the ground. He's holding his face. Like, it's embarrassing. But
going back to the Democrats.
Back to the Democrats, yeah. I think this is the moment where society is saying, hey, no, you can't do this. And then the protesters, the situation, they're now going to escalate like a child throwing a tantrum in the middle of a supermarket. It's like, maybe if I make a big enough stink, the parents will relent. And I think that the moment is now where you go, no, we're not going to relent. And I'm going to paddle you right here in front of everybody.
Corporal punishment. That could have been a poll for today. Do you believe in spanking? I'd probably get in trouble for that. The YouTube live chat poll for today, unrelated. Do you like Governor Kristi Noem? The story that's out there about Kristi Noem from her book, the one part about, listen, she shoots her dog. I don't know how you tell a story of shooting your dog and expect at the end for there to be like positive reaction to that. And I know people who have run farms, operated farms, and it's what you like. It's the humane thing to do, to put down an animal when it is not going to get better, when it is suffering. And there are farmers who take pride is not the correct way to say it, but there is a responsibility that farmer will feel to handle that situation themselves. This puppy was like 14 months old.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that story in the 1 o'clock hour. Tomi Lahren's going to be with us. And she said, I got something to say about this. So we'll listen to Tomi talk about it at 1:25. But Kristi Noem has been a part of all of the vice presidential rumors that have gone around. And Donald Trump going to pick Kristi Noem. And I just feel like the winds of change have rushed upon Kristi Noem lately. And I don't know if people on the whole like her anymore. We'll talk about it. But the dog story. Why did you tell it? What an unforced error. Is that a story that needed to be told? She's like, I don't understand why people would be worked up about a 20-year-old story. Well, she's got a 14-month-old dog. The dog bit people. The dog ate or killed a bunch of chickens from her neighbor. It was not well behaved. And so she took it into a gravel pit and she shot it. The 14-month-old puppy. Is that her only option? I think that's really the question that you have to ask yourself. I understand people who own and operate farms operating in a different kind of world than we do when it comes to the care and concern for the livestock and the animals that are in their within their responsibility. Was that the only option that Kristi Noem had? I don't know. I think it also happened 20 years ago. Does that make a difference? We were in a different 20 years ago, 2004. How was 20 years ago, 2004? Shouldn't it be in the 80s? When somebody says to you, 40 years ago was in the mid 80s, how do you feel about that? I know how I feel about it. I'm pretty well acquainted at this point. So we want to know, do you like Kristi Noem? You go to the Any Fry YouTube channel and vote yes or no. You give us a reason why you do or you don't. And also if you think that she has some presidential or vice presidential aspirations ahead of her. When you're surveying the news, the protests are definitely leading the conversation right now. And the images are pretty wild. Did you take in the UCLA stuff last night?
No. I saw, I think it was the night before last, that there were like clashing protests. So there was pro-Israel and anti-Israel protests, and they were going head to head. And I mean, it was starting to get violent, but I didn't see anything about last night. I couldn't imagine it'd be much calmer.
Well, it was very, it's just so tense. Everywhere that you could go today and have a political issue boil up, we're at breaking points all over the place. This is what it was in 2020. I mean, it's SSDD, same stuff.
Different day.
Different, yeah. When you are thinking about like the mood of the country, when you're thinking about the economy of the country, when you're thinking about the country's relationship with other countries, when you're thinking about other countries' relations with each other and where the United States might be a part or in isolation from, there's not really anywhere you go where you're like, we got that one right. I can't really think of an issue. I'm going to talk a little bit about this here right now, and then we might revisit it later in the show. Yesterday, in the noon hour yesterday in Springfield, your state representative, Jay Hoffman, Democrat, Southern Illinois Democrat, Jay Hoffman, seized upon a Senate bill that had been passed, and it had something to do with DCFS. And this is like super legislative nerd stuff. So I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds because the outcome of this is what's important. And if you want to know the details, you should contact your state representative. And if you're in Missouri, this is where I'm always thinking, like, the Republicans in the supermajority of Republicans in the state of Missouri, Brad, they are always fighting with each other.
Yes.
They cannot get on the same page.
No.
They can't. It's kind of like on Capitol Hill in D.C. You can't get together and steamroll the Democrats who are in the super minority. And Democrats listening right now would be like, why would you want to do that? And I'm like, I don't really want you to, but why are you not crabbing about the Democrats that are in the supermajority of both chambers in the General Assembly in Springfield who did this yesterday? In the 112th House District, this is a state House seat right across the river, Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Collinsville, Granite City, Maryville, like right across the river, Madison County, St. Clair County, bits and pieces. Illinois State Representative Katie Stewart represents the 112th District. And I don't talk a lot about super local politics, especially outside of election season, because I know what it's like to be an Illinois resident. Brad, you can probably relate to this too. And if you're listening to something and it's always hyper focused on a very specific part of Missouri, I'm like, you need to talk to me about landmarks. Is it by the big Amoco sign? As an Illinois girl. And I understand that when I'm talking about Illinois, that half of our audience, or 60%, whatever it is in Missouri, is going, I don't know anything about this. But I want you to understand, Missouri folks, how the Illinois supermajority of Democrats work. It might disgust you, but I just want to show you what a supermajority of Democrats in Illinois is willing to do, and you can compare it to the disarray of the supermajority of Republicans in Missouri. And I'm not really here to say that either one of them is doing it the right way. I do know that neither one feels like it's super connected to the people they represent. When a candidate isn't a participant in the primary in Illinois, and that race for a particular party is left vacant after the primary, the House of Representatives, through the proper course of submitting paperwork, specifically for the 112th district in Illinois, I'm talking specifically to you guys, but this is a broader interest. They submitted the Republican chair of Madison County, the Republican chair of St. Clair County, together submitted the documents to put Jay Keevan, a 27-year Illinois state policeman, 8+ years as the chief of police in Edwardsville, the current city administrator for Troy, Illinois. This guy is not a politician, and I spent the morning with him, and it shows in the best possible way. He is a real dude who has served his county, who has served his state, who has served the people who he would potentially represent incredibly well by wearing a badge and protecting us and keeping us safe. What the Democrats did yesterday is they took the old way of filling that spot where the Republicans would, through that submission of paperwork, which they did, the St. Clair County GOP chairs submitted that paperwork weeks ago saying, we're going to put Jay Keevan in as the Republican candidate against Katie Stewart for the November election for the Illinois State House 112. We're going to put him in. Yesterday at noon, Jay Hoffman, a Southern Illinois Democrat State House rep, seized upon a bill, commandeered it, added some legislative notes to it to speed up the process, to change the way that candidate would be slated, and made it so that as soon as the governor signs it, the Republicans wouldn't be able to put somebody in that spot. Now, as soon as that bill, they passed it. Yesterday, they passed it in the House. This all went whoop, 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 whoop. And then it was, this is what they sound like in Springfield, the Democrats. And they went through this process, sped it up as fast as they could, threw it out for a vote. Supermajority of Democrats, bing, bang, boom. You got a bill that's passed. The Republicans voted present, and then they did a press conference yesterday after the 12 o'clock vote. And now it goes to the Senate. As soon as the Senate passes it, of course, the governor is going to be able to sign it. And they are going to be able to control whether or not a Republican even gets to participate in the 112th against Katie Stewart. Explain to me why Katie Stewart, who has won 3 or 4 cycles now, why is she afraid of campaigning against giving the people in her district another option? Because this is how the Democrats operate. This is the ruthlessness, which with the Democrats, when given a supermajority like Illinois has given them, top to bottom, all statewide races, Democrats, supermajority in the House, supermajority in the Senate, the entire General Assembly, supermajority of Democrats. This is what they do when they get power. They know no limits. They know no bounds. So the old way of doing it is to say, all right, you want to put a candidate on? They expected that they'd be able to. They submitted the paperwork to say Jay Keevan was going to be the guy that they were going to put up. Not a political guy. He's a good guy. He's a different option than Katie Stewart in November. We're going to put him on. Submitted the paperwork, and then somewhere in the beginning of June, I don't have the specific date, they would need to submit 500 signatures. They passed this yesterday, which could make it as soon as, I don't know, the end of today, tomorrow, when J.B. Pritzker could put his ink on that bill and make it a law so that Republicans would not be represented in the 112th. So the Republicans in Madison County and the Republicans that are in St. Clair County that are working in the District 112 said, all right, you draw the battle lines, you draw the battlefield, we're going to try to compete in it. I went on the Mark Cox Morning Show today with Ryan Recker and said, hey, will you come out? I'm going to be out at the Holiday Inn Express in Edwardsville from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And you guys came out. You guys came out strongly. And I don't have final numbers right now. And I know that they were going to be at Township Park, Edwardsville, Airplane Park on Center Grove Road in Edwardsville this afternoon. If you get there and they're not there, you missed it. But they are trying to get they're going to be there through this afternoon. And when I find out that they've left, this is what I'll do. You stick around here listening to me, and when they have left, I will tell you. But the dissatisfaction, the consistent thing that I heard from everybody who signed that petition today is they are sick and tired. This is the word of the crooked Democrats that are running that state into the ground. And when you look at the fact that the Democrats chose Chicago for their convention this summer, they are looking at what they can get away with in Illinois because nobody pays attention to Illinois. California does something nutty, makes the news because it's California. If New York City does something that's nutty, of course they did. It's New York City. When Illinois does it, it goes so far under the radar for so long. By the time that people are paying attention, it's too late. They try to do it again, and hopefully, if you can get there right now to Township Park. If Katie Stewart is your representative, even if you're a Democrat, don't you think that there should be options for voters? Katie Stewart doesn't believe that. People in that district are incredibly angry. Her husband is the principal at Eversville High School. They just passed a unisex bathroom thing. It's a whole deal. We've covered it a little bit on this station. I've talked a little bit about it on this show. There's just, people don't get it. People, petition after petition after petition, people going, it's like up is down. You can't, there are solutions to problems that seem like common sense, and not just, specifically in Edwardsville or specifically in Illinois. It's like these problems, these obstacles are posed to us over and over and again. And when everything says, head north, for some reason, the result goes, we're going south. Consistently. The amount of action that is going to be required from you in Missouri, in Illinois, wherever you're streaming us on the Odyssey app right now, in this country, the amount of effort that is going to be required from you to make change actually happen in November is like you've never seen before. It's going to feel like a lot of work. It's going to feel like being at a Holiday Inn Express at 7 a.m. when you were at the Moulin Rouge at the Fox. I wasn't at the Moulin Rouge. I wouldn't go to that place. But I would go to the show at the Fox last night, and I didn't get home until late, and I had to get up early because I had to see you guys because you guys showed up. You showed up in force. But there's still a ton of work to do. And this is just a start. This is just to get us in the game so that we can compete. And when the Democrats are given this almost unlimited access to power and authority over you, where they redraw the maps, where they rewrite the rules, where they do it in a cloud of secrecy, Safety Act, I'm looking at you, when they work in the shadows, and they do, that's how they win. When the light shines on what they're doing, they lose. Be the light. Show up when you have an opportunity. I will give you all of the opportunities that I find out about, and I promise you, I will be at every single one that I can. But today you showed up, and we're going to try to fight back because it's all we can do. Hold the people who represent you accountable. Don't let people who are given some sense of supermajority power feel as though it's absolute power. They work for you. Remind them every chance you get. Hans von Spakovsky is going to be with us when we come back. He's a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. What's the latest in the Trump non-hush money trial? We'll talk to him about that. And we haven't gotten his full assessment post-immunity, presidential immunity hearing in front of the Supreme Court. That was going on when we talked to him last week. We'll get a little bit of an update from Hans on that when we come back. Tyrus and Tomi Lahren in the 1 o'clock hour on the Annie Fry Show. Let's take a quick break.
I know you're trying to forget.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Between the drinks and subtle things, the holes in my apologies. I'm trying hard to take it back.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Closes and you feel like falling down. I'll carry you home tonight.
Yeah, if you want something perfect for Mother's Day, please, please, please consider the Diamond Shop because they're the very best. something really special for mom, for grandma, this Mother's Day, you're going to save 40% off all in-stock jewelry through Mother's Day. You're also going to get a VIP free mom heart pendant with jewelry purchase. There's a limited supply, so you got to get in and secure that. That's maybe a gift for the spouse, the mom, and then something extra for grandma. Think about it. This is a good deal. When you go to the Diamond Shop and you are introduced to Tom and Mona and Nikki and the whole staff there, you're going to understand how customer forward they are. They don't pay their salespeople on commission because they don't want you to ever feel pressured or the competition to exist in a way that takes the focus off of you and why you came into the Diamond Shop. Reach out to them online at thediamondshop.net and become a VIP. When you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the homepage, simple form to fill out, thediamondshop.net, and you're going to get access to extra special savings. If you're looking for a purchase that's a little bit further out, you can take advantage of their 6-month same as cash opportunity as well. I love the Diamond Shop. I hope you'll give them a visit. Tell them Annie said hi. Online at thediamondshop.net.
What's that I smell? Can I search your card? You know where this is going. What's in that cigar? I know my rights and you do too. I want to talk to my lawyer, not you.
This is Mike Carter, founder of DidYouBlow.com and DWISTL.com. DWIs are complicated matters, and at DWISTL.com, we have 10 attorneys and paralegals working on every DWI matter.
I want my phone call.com.
So put DWISTL.com or DidYouBlow.com in your phone's contacts right now at 314-895-4040.
I just text 895-4040.
Again, go to DWISTL.com or DidYouBlow.com.
Mark Cox here. Did you know the Rockwood School District is a great place to work? They're currently hiring school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodial staff, as well as summer positions for mowers and landscapers. They have openings in Adventure Club, which is before and after school care. They offer competitive pay, flexible work hours, and a rewarding work environment. Discover the Rockwood Advantage and join an amazing team. Go to rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. Now is a great time to start planning your next outdoor project with my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Mark Cox here. You know, they're in their 56th year of business in the region. This is a locally owned and operated company since 1968. And Chesterfield Fence and Deck has such great options for you for your fence, for your decking. They've got regular wood, right? Natural cedar decks, and they've got Vecadec vinyl decking, and they got a brand new color available this year. It's pewter. It's a gorgeous gray color that has beautiful variation throughout it for more of a natural look. Of course, they do custom sunrooms and screen rooms and pergolas and patios. You name it, they can do it for you at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. If you need inspiration, call them up, go to their website, ChesterfieldFence.com, or visit their showroom in the Valley. Mention my name, Mark Cox, and get a special discount for 48 months interest-free financing for February or March. Go online to ChesterfieldFence.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors. If you're younger than me, you may not have ever really experienced truly great customer service. You will with Triton Exteriors. We're a James Hardy siding company. We have a huge color selection. We do fences. We do pretty much everything on the exteriors. We have a great reputation. We have tons, 800 positive online reviews with Angie's List. Great with the BBB. Call 314-717-1159 or book online at triton-stl.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Patriot Training Foundation trains law enforcement and military at the region's top facility free of charge. Kim Sainanj here. We're raising awareness for the Patriot Training Foundation's mission to serve those who serve our nation. Visit 971talk.com/care to learn more.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Little time to
think things over. Better read between the lines in case I need it when I'm older.
Under the advice of counsel, I'm not going to answer that question, sir. Privilege against self-incrimination.
And did you knowingly break any laws when investigating President Trump?
Objection. Same response.
Did you break any laws when you worked at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office?
Objection. Same response.
Ms. Pomerantz, did you violate any person's constitutional rights when you worked on the Trump investigation?
Objection. I have the same response to your question.
Mr. Pomerantz, did you violate any person's constitutional rights while you worked at the Manhattan DA's office?
Objection. Same answer.
Did you misuse any federal funds while investigating President Trump?
Same response.
Did you misuse any federal funds while you were working in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office?
Same response.
And did you violate any New York State bar rules while you were investigating President Trump?
Objection. Same response.
So that's Trump prosecutor Mark Pomerantz talking there. How fair have these investigations been into Donald Trump? There are a lot of allegations out right now about the special treatment that Donald Trump has consistently, from honestly before he even became president the first time, the special treatment that for whatever particular reason he was given, he was subjected to. What is it about Donald Trump that drives people so incredibly crazy?
We the people of the United States,
more perfect.
your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Hans von Spakovsky, thank you for being with us here on this Thursday afternoon. You can't look, I'm trying to find a trial where Donald Trump was just treated like the rest of us would be. It seems like every time there's an opportunity to tweak something, to try to slip something by, to get Trump, they're out to do it.
Well, I think they are, and I think it's a matter of the left, Democrats, are so scared of him. They're so afraid that voters will actually choose him to be president that they're willing to do almost anything to prevent them from being able to make that choice. I mean, remember, that's why we had a case go all the way to the Supreme Court from Colorado where they were trying to disqualify him from the ballot so that people couldn't even vote for him.
You know, Hans, if you listen to the Democrats talk about what they're afraid of, they feel as though the reelection of Donald Trump is going to be, their words, the end of democracy. So it's a valiant thing that the Democrats are doing in their minds, at least the way they articulate it. And if you know that they feel that the end of a Donald Trump reelection will be the end of America, in some weird perverted sense, you could understand why they would be willing to do anything it takes in order to stop him from being the president of the United States. But it seems to me if they're able to get away with anything, then maybe we've already met the end of democracy.
No, in fact, that's exactly what they're doing. And they're looking in the mirror when they say that he would end democracy. The current administration is doing that. Think about all the actions that Joe Biden is taking that defy the law. We have an open border, a security crisis like we've never heard. Why? Because the Biden administration actually refuses to enforce federal immigration law. Look at the way he has said, well, I'm forgiving all student loans, despite the fact that the courts have said, you, the president, you can't do that. You don't have the power to do that. And again, he just defies the law. So that is the road to tyranny, is a president that engages in actions like that.
Hans von Spakovsky with us right now, senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. I don't know if it was last week or the week ago, a week before that, you and I were discussing all of these trials that Donald Trump is facing. And, you know, I kind of asked you, is this something where it seems as though the First Amendment is the thing that is under attack in each of these trials consistently, and it's Donald Trump's First Amendment rights that are under attack. And then we compare that to what the left is really permitting and in some ways encouraging to take place on our college campuses across the country right now. I mean, is what you're seeing at Columbia and Harvard and UCLA and so on and so forth, are these just people expressing their First Amendment rights?
No, they're not. Think about it this way. Would any of these colleges allow the kind of violence, harassment, intimidation that's going on from these pro-Hamas protesters and their anti-Semitism, if these were members of the Ku Klux Klan who were also hiding their faces like these protesters were and talking about how much they hate Black Americans? You and I both know they would never allow that to occur.
Yeah. What about the protests? Like, when does it become unlawful? What is a First Amendment right when it comes to peacefully protesting, and when are we outside of the realm of our rights?
The Supreme Court has said that universities, colleges, malls, local governments can put in regulations that set the time, place, and manner of a protest. That's why, for example, if you want to stage a protest in Washington, D.C., you need to apply to the city, tell them when you're going to do it. They give you a permit, and that allows security to be in place, that allows it to be peaceful. When it gets to the point where you are breaking windows, breaking into buildings, occupying buildings like happened at Columbia, you are far beyond your First Amendment rights.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty shocking for people to watch what's unfolded and how willfully we permit them to throw their temper tantrums in the manner with which they are doing it. I did want to ask you before we let you go, when we spoke last week, the immunity trial in front of the Supreme Court had taken place to some extent,
Right.
but you've had a week to think about what you've heard and analyze that hearing. Where are you right now on the presidential immunity of Donald Trump and how that might ripple effect into the court cases he's facing across the country?
I don't think either side is going to get what they want. I think what the court is going to do is come back and say, I think Trump's going to win more than the government will, but I think they're going to come back and say, yes, when a president is engaging in his official duties, he does have immunity from criminal prosecution, and that extends to the outer perimeter of what he does. And I think what they'll do is then send the case back down to the trial court to say, in these indictments against him, you have to figure out when was he acting in his official duty, when was he acting in his personal capacity. And because the judge, for example, in the federal case in Washington, is liberally biased against Trump, she will probably say, oh, everything he did was personal. Nothing he was doing had to do with his presidential duties. And you know what will happen then? His team will appeal her decision, and it'll go up through the courts again. So there's no way the federal case, we're not going to see a trial in that case before the November election.
Yeah, that is quite the point on the timeline that everybody is paying attention to. When I don't know if we spoke last week about the Judge Cannon unredactions that were taking place in the Mar-a-Lago trial, but there does seem to be evidence that the Biden administration, the White House itself, has had a finger or a whole hand or dived headfirst into collaboration with the Justice Department to make sure that these trials are positioned in a correct way. What's your assessment of the relationship between Joe Biden, the White House, and the Department of Justice and the prosecutions of Donald Trump?
Oh, I think the Department of Justice is acting as basically part of his campaign to do everything they can to stop Donald Trump. And that includes, for example, the number 3 guy at the Justice Department, very high up position, leaving that job to go take an assistant prosecutor job in the New York criminal prosecution, actually taking a pay cut to do that. Sorry, that's not the way legal careers go. You don't leave a high up position in the U.S. Justice Department to go do that. That's the Biden White House's fingers all over that local prosecution.
Hans, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Always look forward to having you back. We'll talk to you again next week.
Sure thing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Great to have him on here to talk about all of this legal nonsense that's going on. And also this First Amendment rights. We do have the ability to flex our voice and to make sure that we are heard even when it dissents against authority. But what we're seeing right now across the country, it's unsettling. We saw 4 years ago, right about this time, the country decided to set itself on fire, and we're looking at it doing itself again. All right, let's take a quick break. Wiggins America in studio when we come back. Ryan he's very concerned about your health, and he wants to pass along any advice and health tips that he can at any given time. So Wiggins America is going to be dedicated to you and the best version of yourself, making sure that you are living your healthiest life. Wiggins America when we come back.
Clouds, I see love shine.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
There's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know.
RulerFoods.com. Spending less on your grocery bill is key to saving money in an obvious way. And Ruler Foods makes it simple. They have the name brands that you trust. They also have Kroger brands that come at Ruler Foods prices. It's a great way to save on quality Kroger brands. You fill your cart up with those, you're going to save extra. They also have name brands at lower prices. Also, wonderful produce, avocados or mangoes right now, 47 cents each. Wonderful way to make some delicious guacamole. My husband makes the best guac, and we love getting avocados from Ruler Foods. They have raspberries and blackberries as well. 6-ounce packages, just $1.47 each. And stay hydrated as the weather gets warmer and you got ball games and you're filling coolers and you need to put those water bottles in there. 2 for $5, 24 packs. Great way to save with Ruler Foods. Don't delay. You can go to the website at rulerfoods.com and find the Ruler Foods that's closest to you, plus the weekly ads, discounts that they have available to you so you can get extra savings. Find them online at rulerfoods.com.
St. Louis is proud to be a baseball town and more recently a soccer town. On Friday, May 3rd, the Birds on the Bat host the Chicago White Sox. And that night, 25,000 fans 16 and older will take home a Cardinals soccer jersey presented by Purina. That's Friday, May 3rd, the Cardinals, the White Sox, and the exclusive soccer jersey giveaway. For tickets or more info, visit cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Giovanni Gallegos. Get your tickets at cardinals.com.
Calling all bobblehead collectors and animal lovers. This is one you won't want to miss. Join us at the ballpark on Saturday, May 4th, when the Cardinals host the Chicago White Sox and the 19th annual Purina Pooches in the ballpark. That day, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will receive a bobblehead of Adam Wainwright with his lovable retirement gift, his new pup Louie, courtesy of Purina. For full details, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Adam Wainwright, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is
Mike Carter here. Too often we lose sight of how fortunate we are to live in Missouri. When I travel out of state on business, people say, Mike Carter, what's so special about Missouri? Well, let's start with the mighty Mississippi and Missouri rivers traversing the state. They were the superhighways of the day, used by French fur trappers and traders. Later, American settlers like Daniel Boone and waves of pioneers drove their teams and wagons along the Boonslick Trail he blazed. Carter Law Offices right now, founded by me, Mike Carter, started and is on Boonslick Trail, near where those intrepid settlers crossed the Missouri to harness the land. Rich soils and generations of farm families like my own grandparents made Missouri the breadbasket of America. Drive a few minutes outside our cities and towns, and you'll find yourself passing miles and miles of undulating wheat and corn, farms and ranches that feed our nation. I'm Mike Carter, and I'm proud to live and work in the Show Me State, a place God blessed just a little bit more. Go to MikeCarter.com to see more about our great state of Missouri.
If you want to win Cardinals tickets today and tomorrow, you got chances. Today's going to be in the 2 o'clock hour, so stick around. We'll tell you when to call to win tickets to the May 8th game versus the Mets. Today's YouTube live chat poll, do you like Governor Kristi Noem? Yes or no? Of course, we'd love to hear why, yes or no, as well. It is 12:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because everybody needs an oasis. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Well, if you're in your car right now, you're listening to the Annie Fry Show. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Wiggins doesn't care about me at all. Annie does, but Wiggins doesn't. That's not true. I love you.
What are you talking about?
I love you, and I want to take care of you. I want to make sure that you're healthy. So we're going to do some health tips here.
What a weird sequitur.
It's all, I just want to address the elephant in the room, that people think that I don't love them, but I do. I do love you. I care about you. And once again, these are all for you. We'll talk about them in the room because we can't hear back from you unless you're in the live chat.
Brad, he's a giver.
It was just like a mumble.
That's the nicest thing you can do.
It's like he held back.
Yeah.
Man, that's rough. But okay, I'm going to give. You guys take whatever you want. These are...
Can we take
a break?
Very well done.
Okay, thank you.
These are habits to ditch for a happier day and 5 to do instead. So a few habits you could ditch, few you can add. We'll get to some other things too. The first one is don't dive into emails to get a jump start on the day the first thing in the morning. Do you do this?
No, I told you I don't check my emails.
Well, that's true. You do start work right away. But
No.
the email thing.
Brad and I have a never ceasing Twitter DM conversation.
Like all night, any hour of the day.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, there are texts or DMs that get sent all hours.
Most of mine are super late, and his start pretty early.
Yeah. They're kind of notes to self half
We
the time,
make
though,
each other, like, we don't make each other, but we say good morning to each other every day.
in Twitter.
Yeah. No, we call each other.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brad. Good
What are you
morning,
wearing?
Terry.
And then we hang up.
Yeah.
We finished everything.
No,
on
because
DM.
you don't want to wake up and have like I don't want Brad to wake up and check his Twitter DMs and be like, who's on at 12:25? It's good morning. Who's on at 12:25? And he'll say the same thing, like good morning, and then here's the sitch that we're in right now.
That's cool. You guys don't have to say all the work stuff to me, but if you want to send me a good morning in Twitter, that's fine.
I don't have time.
No, you don't get it until you get to your computer anyway.
I'm just gonna
You're
send
right.
you. I'm just gonna send you a text that say morning.
Uh-oh.
No.
Does that mean good or bad?
Mm.
Next one, don't
average.
wake up to a loud alarm clock.
I don't like alarms.
I don't either.
It's a rough way to wake up in the morning. Mine's some like flowery ringtone that's my alarm thing, but even that, like if I hear that later on in the day, I'm like, I hate that noise.
Mhm. Yeah, I try as often as I can to not wake up to an alarm. If I have to, I'll set one. And the ones that kind of gradually come in,
Yeah.
I do like those
Yeah,
a little
like
better.
crescendo. If you didn't set an alarm, what time? If you didn't set an alarm for Friday, what time would you wake up?
Oh, I wake up at the same time every day,
Without
weekdays
an
or
alarm?
weekends, 6:48. Because that is when.
I am going to text you tomorrow at 6:46.
Don't do that.
I'll be
That's
like, good morning.
oh, dang it! I asked for
Hey.
this.
Yeah.
That's when my wife's alarm goes off, And it's when the kids wake up.
So
sometimes they wake up and I will hear them. So
are you waking up because your wife's alarm goes off?
Kind of.
It's the same thing as your alarm.
Not entirely, because sometimes I'll be in a different room because I'm snoring or something. So, but it'll
bounced?
still, I get bounced. But it doesn't matter. I still wake up at the same time every day. Next one, don't try to immediately problem solve. You two.
You're still here.
We're still working on that.
Don't try to problem solve at all.
In the morning?
Yeah, it says in the morning.
Why? Why not?
It says it's normal to feel a little groggy when you first wake up. That feeling is called sleep inertia, and it lasts for 15 to 60 minutes.
No such thing.
The point is that when you initially wake, your brain isn't in tip-top form. So you're not going to problem solve well.
It doesn't mean that you can't solve problems. It's just maybe, I mean, if you're problem solving in the first hour of the day, you're probably not acting as much as you are creating solutions in your head that could be refined in time.
I have woken up in the middle of the night with the solution to a problem.
Amen.
And have gone immediately. It was a broken issue on my car and went immediately out and fixed it at like 2 a.m.
Wow.
When is your problem solving window, Wiggins?
It's pretty much from the time, according to this article, it would be 15 minutes after I wake up. So we'll say 7-ish through about 11-ish. It's the entire time I'm awake after that 15 minutes. I'm firing on all cylinders all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I have many times woken up in the middle of the night. This is true. And it's like Trump. Hey, this is true.
It's true.
Thought of a great joke or bit or something and written it down. And I'm telling you, 99% of the time I wake up in the morning, I'll look at that thing, I go, what the heck is that? That's terrible.
Yeah.
So
dreams that are really awesome, and then you like lay there and try to get back into them, and you're like, why was I walking on a bird's back in the jungle?
Yeah, I want to go back there.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I was there. Don't focus on the stuff that went wrong yesterday. That's pretty much good advice regardless.
Don't focus on the stuff that went wrong yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you make it right today?
Well, I guess if you have to fix it still, you'd have to address
you examine what went wrong and you learn from your mistakes.
And don't do that or experience that thing today.
Yeah. It says try to pull your mind away from the frustrating topic. It's tough.
What's the source on this?
Oh, this is
BuzzFeed?
multiple doctors. No.
Okay.
It's a bunch of doctors from some random article in the New York Post. Do start with a... I thought of you when I read this.
Who? Me or
you,
Brad?
You, Annie.
Oh, great.
Do start with a meditation and some deep breaths.
Why did you think of me?
Because right when I read it, I heard you in my head go, give me a freaking break.
I was wondering where you're going with that one. No. I'll pray. When people talk about meditation, I pray. So I think it's kind of the same thing. I don't
that's true.
breathe with Jesus, but I mean, I do.
Some deep breaths.
But it's not intentional. Just God gave me the
You're
breath
just
in my
breathing.
lungs.
Yeah, you're breathing and worship. Focus, another one to do. Focus on what you want to happen and make a list.
I thought we weren't supposed to be problem solving.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, these things all require time.
The first one on the list was something they came up with right after they woke up, and then they just progressed into better ideas later on.
They waited 15 minutes. They thought about making a list. Then after 15 minutes, they made the list.
I don't make lists. I will make lists for like big things. Like if we're going on vacation and we need to X, Y, and Z, or if we're in charge of an event or something like that. But I don't need a list for a Tuesday.
Oh, man, I make tons of lists.
The first thing when you make a list, if you've got a bunch of things to do, the first thing you do is, first task is make a list.
Yeah.
Check it off.
Check. Knock that thing off. Do hang something in your bedroom that makes you smile.
Oh, my God.
I know. What? Do move a little. I think this is a good one. Move around a little bit. It takes
Just
me a
in bed?
while. Yeah, just shimmy. Do the worm on your side.
In place.
Jared's going, oh, Annie must be up.
He's way gone. Easy. He's way gone. Get your act together. Knock it off.
You got me laughing. Doing the worm. Last one.
I bet so much.
This usually goes the other way.
I got trouble. Do whatever you're trying, stick with it.
Like the. Wait, Jared, hear me out. I wonder if I could do the worm. If I was ever going to be able to do the worm, it's probably in the next hour. I've been up for so long. I went to bed super late. The amount of Scooter's caffeine that I've had today is probably exceeding the limit.
Yeah. You've been going pretty hard the last less than 24 hours. With 1 minute left, I did have another one I wanted to get to real quick since we're talking about health news. 7 new menu items that Taco Bell is set to release. Number 1,
in unrelated news.
Big Cheez-It Supreme and Tostada. Number 2, Mountain Dew Baja Blast Gelato.
Are you guys Baja Blast people?
No.
I like all the changes to different sodas, but I don't know that I love that one.
I won't drink a sugared soda.
Really?
Oh, God, no. What a waste of calories. But I think in the store, I think I saw this at Ruler Foods. Maybe. They had Diet Baja Blast. I don't even know what Baja Blast tastes like.
Yeah, I couldn't
They
tell
have
you
Diet
either.
Baja Blast?
Yes.
Oh, I might try that.
Do you remember the seafoam green or teal Kool-Aid of our youth?
Yes.
This exists in my head, and I feel like it was magical. And I wonder if Baja Blast is carbonated that.
I don't know. I really don't know it well enough. I've had Sweet Lightning, and I like all those variations. I like trying them.
That teal Kool-Aid tasted like the prettiest color.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
What about the gelato version? Good?
Nope.
Oh,
How about
yeah.
vanilla, strawberry, raspberry?
No, you're wrong about that. It's going to be great.
I am not wrong about it.
Cinnamon Dulce de Leche Delights. So those little cinnamon ball things, they're going to have caramel in them now. Yeah.
That's good. They weren't really sweet enough before, were they?
Exactly. Chicken nuggets.
No.
Yeah, just chicken nuggets.
Real chicken?
Have no idea.
Then no.
Ask them.
I will. They won't know either.
Cheesy Street chalupas, and then chicken and steak enchilada grilled cheese dipping tacos. Come on, let's go. And that's your health news.
I like how the beginning of that was don't problem solve for 15 minutes when you're waking up. And at the end, we're eating
dipping tacos.
Caramel-infused tacos or something. Tyrus and Tomi Lahren when we come back.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
Get ready, folks. Lakeside Renovation and Design is thrilled to invite you to our showroom open house event on Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's the remodeling event of the year. Unlock massive savings in our event thanks to exclusive partnerships with top vendors and suppliers, delicious catering from Sugar Fire, and fantastic giveaways throughout the day. Turn your remodeling dreams into reality. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Lakeside Renovation and Design, where your dream home becomes reality.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out YourEyeDoc.com. That's YourEyeDoc.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
More arrests on more campuses. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. And now bulldozers are at work at UCLA, helping to clean up after police cleared an encampment earlier today.
Tons of trash, tens of thousands of dollars worth of tents and sleeping bags, medical equipment, coolers, power tools, all of it headed to a landfill.
Fox's William Lajeunesse at UCLA, where pro-Palestinian protesters had barricaded themselves in that encampment, ignoring hours of warnings to disperse, some wearing gas masks as police moved in and made dozens of arrests early today. In-person classes still on hold there until Monday, and the library remains closed. At NYU, an encampment remains despite warnings that student protesters could be suspended, and even after police took back a building at Columbia University. In Oregon, some protesters still confronting police in riot gear at Portland State University after arrests were made there earlier today. President Biden making his first remarks about the campus protests in more than a week.
Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is. It's against the law when violence occurs.
He says vandalism, threats, and intimidation are not peaceful.
Dissent is essential to democracy, but dissent must never lead to disorder or to denying the rights of others so students can finish the semester and their college education.
Answering shouted questions, the president also says he does not favor calling in the National Guard and that the protests are not making him rethink his Mideast policies. The president also says moments like this are not a time for politics, as former President Trump blames what he calls the radical left.
And they got to be stopped now because it's going to go on and it's going to get worse and worse.
Praising police as well for clearing encampments as he's headed back to court earlier today in New York. America is listening to Fox News.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Hey guys, don't be that dad without life insurance. When thanks to Ethos, you can be that great dad with life insurance to help keep his family living exactly like they do now, secure and protected in the event of the unexpected. With a fast and easy online experience, some policies as low as $1 a day and up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Ethos makes getting life insurance protection hassle-free. E for easy, E for Ethos at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
85 should do it for the high this afternoon. We'll keep an eye out for a couple of scattered thunderstorms, non-severe. Otherwise, partly sunny and windy again, 85 for the high. Tonight, some scattered showers, some non-severe thunderstorms around 62. Friday, maybe a leftover shower or thunderstorm first thing in the morning Friday. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine, slightly cooler, 75. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stevie Nicks is coming to Enterprise Center, and we have your chance to go for free. Tune into the Mark Cox Morning Show all this week. You could win tickets to experience an unforgettable night of timeless hits. This week, 5 to 9 on the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us, and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600. Or on the website, bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Get your phone out and open your calendar app and check this date. Thursday, May 16th. I sit here and wait while you do that. Thursday, May 16th. At 6:30 p.m., come hang out with me. I'll be there from 6 to about 6:45. And from 6 to 6:30, I would love to meet you and your friends that you bring along. Mark Cox will be there. Mark Reardon will be there. And it's the Retirement Advisory, Protecting Your Retirement educational event. it's free. It's at the Frontenac Hilton, Thursday, May 16th. It starts at 6:30, but if you get there early, I'd love to have a little conversation with you and get to know you a little bit. And you can learn about how to make the correct moves right when retirement is upon you to make sure that you don't have to worry and have that anxiety that goes along with, gosh, I hope I did enough. I hope I did the right things. This is what Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw are experts at. This moment in your retirement where you have done what you need to do to save and sacrifice, but you do got to make some smart moves in order to adjust to when you actually are paying yourself out of your retirement. Sign up at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494. Tell them Annie sent you, and I'll see you there Thursday, May 16th. I'll get there at 6. Thing starts at 6:30, 45 minutes of your night, and then you're on your way. RetirementKey.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Seriously? Seriously. You want to break the law and then get catering. You talk about privilege, and she wasn't even aware of it. That is frightening intersection of ignorance and arrogance. You want to appropriate the suffering in Gaza as if it were you, just not the suffering part. What happened to hunger strikes? Getting arrested? Taking a prosecution for the cause. Change doesn't come easy. Change doesn't come without cost. Go look at what happened during BLM. How blacks and their allies were treated when they destroyed property. And that was in poor areas, let alone some fancy place like a rich college campus. You are being treated with kid gloves. And you better hope it stays that way.
So I think it's important when we're watching these protests take place across the country to kind of take note. Brad, you probably noticed this when you're looking through different sound cuts that we can pull. I like to know what words people are using from different entities.
Yeah.
You could see consistencies.
Yes.
A lot of what Fox News is presenting refers to the protesters as anti-Israel.
Yes.
There's a reason behind that. I don't think it's wrong. They're also pro-Palestinian, but there's a choice that is there's an editorial choice that is being made if you say pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, heck, pro-Hamas.
Yeah.
I can make the case. There is a video out right now, and it says a dramatic video has captured an anti-Israel protester, that's how you know it's from Fox News, at Portland State University getting knocked to the ground Thursday after charging directly at a police officer who was on the scene. Have you seen this video?
Yes.
To break up the occupation of the campus's main library. It just, to me, it's this guy, and he's like running full bore into this police officer.
He's got like a Rubbermaid trash can, one of them big 50-gallon trash cans.
Like half of it.
Like cut in half and a shield made out of it. And he comes running, like, it's not like a short distance. He runs a really long way. And he, like, runs into this cop.
This is the protester that had that thing.
He comes running down this long way into this cop, and the cop, like, doesn't brace himself or anything. And just kind of is like, and knocks him over.
Like, what did you think think was going to happen? He goes, bonk, stiff arm, you down. I got to not just sit here and watch this guy get trucked over and over again.
Fun.
He just like runs into the cop and falls over, and then there's a little scuffle. Portland Police Bureau says its effort to clear the Millar Library in downtown Portland, Oregon is now underway following the unlawful occupation of the building that began Monday. Images that emerged yesterday show that the inside of the building had been trashed by the protesters with pro-Palestinian graffiti written on its walls. What's wrong with you people? I mean, what's this? I keep going back to this, but I think it's really important. What's the message? When you protest, you're trying to get people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to go beyond the norm to get people's attention. What's the message?
Makes me wonder if the protesters themselves don't know what the message is. They're just the right kind of person that the people who are sending a message, and I think that the message that the people organizing it are sending isn't anything to do with Palestine or Israel or anything like that.
You familiar with the Dark Knight movies?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Recently?
I'm pretty familiar.
Familiar enough?
Yeah.
Because I love them, and I had mentioned earlier I watched The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. I told him, I was like, Batman Begins is more cerebral to me than the other ones. I was like, watch Dark Knight, watch Dark Knight Rises, and then we'll go back and watch Batman Begins, and then we'll watch Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that's a good way of going about it.
I mean, that's the way I wanted to do it. But in The Dark Knight Rises, when Bane and Miranda or whatever her name is are trying to do the thing that they're doing, the people who they employ, they're all useful idiots.
Yes.
That's a Marxist thing. Useful idiots is a bold-faced word. And these people from campus to campus, they can't intellectually believe that at the end, like at the natural conclusion of these events, that Palestine will be free from the river to the sea.
No.
You can't. Can you? I mean, like, if they're revolutionaries and we know that they are morally reprehensibly wrong, is this how all revolutions start? Is like this?
I don't know.
Because what I see is, it's going back to The Dark Knight, where the Batman, at the very beginning of the movie, there's like a faux Batman, and he's trying to beat the bad guys. He's shooting at him, and he's like, the fake Batman says to the real Batman, "What's the difference between you and me?" And he goes, "I'm not wearing hockey pads." And it's like, "I'm not carrying garage pails for shields." That's what this looks like to me.
Yes.
It's like, just take a minute and assess the situation. This isn't going the way that you think it is. And your job, if you're protesting like this, is to do one of two things. First and foremost, it's to get people's attention. And then you have an opportunity. People are looking at you going, what? You have the opportunity to persuade them or overtake them. Those are the only two options. If you're going to forward the cause, you either have to be persuasive or you have to defeat them.
Yes.
You're not persuading crap.
No.
With the behavior across the country right now. Consistently, when you're like, we need standard humanitarian aid like food and water. Excuse me, ma'am, is anybody stopping food and water? No, but we really want to make sure that they don't. Has somebody suggested that they're not going to allow you to have food and water? No, nobody is, but we want to make sure that it's not violently stopped. And then they're like, are you expecting people to bring food? No, but if they have a meal plan, shut up! Like, it's not, just stop with yourself right now and just take a moment to look and ask yourself, in 15 years, when you know better, what's this going to look like to you? Who lied to you? Who put you in a position to go storm a campus building and take over the campus building and play Protest House funded by Protest Inc. And you're there with your fourth of a garbage. Who are your garbage pail buddies that have the other 3/4 of your garbage can shield that you're using to effectively run into a police officer and then bounce off of, where they like look down on you and going, you should get up. It's not working the way you think it is. Well, I can't wait to see how Tyrus would handle it. Let's talk to our friend Tyrus, regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor. Tyrus, thanks for being on with us today. We appreciate it. I want to know everything you think about these protests because it's really a sight to see.
Before we start, your potty mouth,
your
use of the word garbage, I am shocked. You are a mother, a professional woman.
I use the nice word.
You don't work blue. You don't work blue. You're better than that. Don't let them change you. We don't need a foul mouth. Okay? That's first of all.
Okay.
Let me have the foul mouth. Let me tell you about these Okay, let me stop.
Yeah, okay. Brad, over by the button. Brad, go by the button.
Yeah.
You get one,
No.
Tyrus.
No, you get one.
Don't use it.
Here's the thing. The only issue I have is that when the police were pulling down the boards, I was like, no, get more. Build it up.
Yeah.
Then dip French, fill it with water, put my alligators in, as I suggested with the border.
Alligators!
To my ideas.
Yes! Did you see the story where there's an alligator in the Rio Grande?
I have a video to show you.
Did you put it there?
What happened at the house last weekend. We're going to exchange some pleasantries till we get into ugliness. Where my stepson we had an injured alligator in our trench. And he said to me, well, I'm going to catch it. She had fishing line wrapped around her back leg, and she had lost the foot, but she was dragging the fishing line everywhere. So he made a rope out of some string, and he put it around her snout and I was like, okay, bro. And he said, I said, how big is it? He's like, it's not that big. She was about 6 feet. And he wrestled the ground, and he did his impersonation of Crocodile Hunter. And I will just tell you that the crocodile would be very proud if he was there. And he did it, and he used electrical tape, and he brought it up to me, and he's like, can we keep her? And I was like, no, we cannot. We don't have a bin big enough for it, but we cut her, got the fishing string off her and sent her on her way. But I was very happy for that moment. But now we can get into the ugliness.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Your language just threw me off. I had to get it back center.
I'm sorry, I'm mad. I'm going to take over a building later.
I can tell. I hope the sponsors will forgive you.
They will.
Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Don Rickles lately.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing that bothers me the most about this. They're not protesters. We had Hamas terrorists on campus boxing themselves in. We should have had them arrested and taken to Guantanamo and then offered exchanges for our American hostages and Israel hostages over in Palestine right now. I don't understand why we're treating them and the police officers did a phenomenal job. I was watching, there was 2 young women in Wisconsin, and I was watching them as these protesters were running their mouthpiece, and I said, they're about to go. It's about, and she's going to put him on his behind. And they're spitting and they're calling all these names, and these officers were just stoic and did their job, and they still were concerned with their safety. But the other side was not. I don't understand why we're calling them anything else but terrorists. The social rights movement and protest, they didn't spray paint and destroy buildings. They didn't set up encampments and demand vegan. What?
It's not even good food. You're going to make demands. Make it worth it.
I would have thrown a can of beans over there and be like, figure it out.
Somebody's going to compromise some values. Let's see which ones go first.
And the kind with the big fat pieces of bacon in it. How bad you
Smell
want
it. Take it in. Oh man, Tyrus is with us right now. I feel like we 4 years ago, George Floyd, summer of love, mostly peaceful protests all over the country. That felt very different to this. And
but even that was grotesquely. There's no such thing as mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
They were looting, they were burning. We're still looking for the murderers, for the older gentleman in St. Louis, the officer, or was that Los Angeles? I'm sorry, that was trying to stop people from robbing. So again, none of those fall under what I would
Officer
consider.
Dorn was here.
Yes.
That was very close to where we are right now.
Yeah. That throws out the ballgame. It was opportunist. That was their first dry run at the Antifas and these professional anarchists and basically, indoctrinate these dumb kids, and they're dumb. Like, they don't need to be in college. Like, they're
useful idiots.
But they need the real life consequences. The ones who are volunteering, like the police officers gave them an opportunity to leave. And like, no, I got to be arrested because I want to be seen arrested. They wouldn't be doing that if they were looking at 3 to 6.
Yeah. Consequences.
For domestic terrorism. Okay? Again, I am Hamas. If there was a Nazi encampment setting up shop at Columbia, do you think they would have got 110 up? No. They wouldn't have. And every one of them would have been tried. It would have been January 6 times 10. Well, this should be January 6 in terms of making every one of those people involved should be arrested. You are claiming responsibility for the deaths, the murders, the rape of thousands of people, let alone we have American hostages that I don't even want to say what it probably is online because there could be family or friends listening, and we don't hear about them.
Yeah, it's not even a topic of
How does that
conversation.
feel? Just think about if you are a serviceman or a family of a serviceman who's out in this country trying to keep everyone safe all over abroad, and we have them in here, and they're calling them sympathizers and pro. No, they're terrorists. They're telling you and they're using pepper spray, violence on police officers and students. How long before what are they missing? What is the difference between a terrorist, a Hamas soldier, and the ones we have right now? They have guns, opportunity, and they're open with it. They're doing the same thing here in America, and we're giving them a break because they vote left. This is ridiculous, and this is just ridiculous. The police are doing a phenomenal job, but how many times can you take getting spit on?
Yeah.
How many times can you take getting stuff thrown at your face? And they don't have any respect. They're throwing everything you could possibly think of. These encampments were disgusting. Yeah. These weren't people that were trying to get everyone aware of the cause. They thought they were going to live there for the summer. Tents, coolers, and then you need to bring us food and water. What world do they live in?
Yeah, it's not reality. It's not the one the rest of us who have to have jobs to feed our families live in.
It's like they must really, one, hate their parents, and two, they've lived in a no consequences world. And this is a great learning environment, a great life lesson to where when they sit in jail for even put them in there for 90 days.
9 days.
90. No. They need to learn.
Yeah.
But
I don't know that they'd be crying pretty fast.
This is domestic terrorism. They're ripping down the American flag and putting up the Palestinian flag. That's called an invasion. Like, what are we doing here? Like, if Mexico did that, or again, if the Nazi flag went up, again, how long would that Nazi flag be waving before it was done?
Yeah, no joke.
We're being played for fools by this administration. This is the National Guard should have already been involved. We shouldn't put all this on our police, men and women in the blue. They're not underpaid, underappreciated as it is. And on top of it, you have the White House, who he can't even read his blanket. Oh, we don't want anyone to feel threatened, and we don't want. I'm saying I don't care the consequences. We have our commander in chief is a coward, and he's a forgetful coward at that, which makes it even worse. So he continues his cowardness on repeat mode.
Yeah.
And I really hope the American people look at every person, Senate, House, that supported this stuff, and vote them out.
Yeah, it's good that we have an election this year, but I think that a lot of this is happening because we have an election this year. Tyrus, before I let you go, I have to remind you that the Boston Red Sox are a game and a half out of first place. They have won 7 of the last 10, and they are 4 games ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Listen.
You a believer?
Let me explain this to you. All right? You and your little crew over there.
It's real spicy today.
Yeah, I'm fired up. I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. You're
let's
managing expectations. You're not living in the moment, Tyrus.
Look at the worst case. Look at the worst case scenario. Let's say I'm wrong, okay? And I wear your little soiree St. Louis Cardinals hat, which the Red Sox have traded a plethora of players over there. So I feel like I'm part of the system, anyways.
You have a buy-in.
My Red Sox are in first place. That's a win-win for me. Or I cover myself, and you say, wow, they were terrible. Told you. Either way, I'm winning. This is what happens when you deal with a Boston sports fan.
I know. We'll remind you each week. All right, Tyrus, I got to go. Tomi Lahren is on the show with us next, and I think she's...
Oh, I got bumped. I get it.
No. But I got to do what I got to do to take care of all my people. And Tyrus, we always appreciate you each week.
Which is completely garbage, pardon my friend.
Garbage. Yeah, it's the nasty word I used today.
Watch
Tyrus,
your
we'll
mouth.
talk to you again next week. Go Cardinals.
All right.
Bye. I'm going to hang up on before he says anything about the Red Sox. I got 1 minute break. I'm going to take a 1 minute break, and I got to get right back to Tomi because we have a great lineup for you today. And Tomi is here to talk to us about Governor Kristi Noem and her dog, her dead dog. Who tells this story? That's my main question. I mean, we can get into the details of it, and we will with Tomi when we come back. But did Kristi Noem just end her political career after this? We need to know what you think on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Do you like Kristi Noem? Tomi will react to that when we come back. Don't go away.
What's that I smell? Can I search your card? You know where this is going. What's in that cigar? I know my rights and you do too. I want to talk to my lawyer, not you.
This is Mike Carter, founder of DidYouBlow.com and DWISTL.com. DWIs are complicated matters, and at DWISTL.com, we have 10 attorneys and paralegals working on every DWI matter.
I want my phone call.com.
So put DWISTL.com or DidYouBlow.com in your phone's contacts right now at 314-895-4040.
I just text 895-4040.
Again, go to DWISTL.com or DidYouBlow.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Just got done wrapping up with Tyrus and had to wrap that up because we have another great guest on the line here to talk about a little bit about our YouTube live chat poll for today. Join us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and tell us, do you like Governor Kristi Noem? Yes or no? Comment if you want to tell us why yes or no, or if that has recently changed. Let's get straight to her. Tomi Lahren, host of Tomi Lahren is Fearless on Outkick. You can check out Tomi Lahren is Fearless, the podcast on Outkick.com Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6 p.m. our time. Tomi, welcome to the show. It's good to have you back.
No, thank you for having me. I always like to hear Outkick folks on, so yeah. I'm glad that I can follow up Tyrus.
Tyrus is, you never know what kind of mood Tyrus is going to be in when he comes on your Spike.
Governor Kristi Noem has attempted to spin this story to make it seem like South Dakotans are okay with this. that this is a fact of life for people who live in rural America, on the farm or on the ranch. That's what really fires me up about this, as somebody who comes from many generations of ranching, somebody who grew up in South Dakota, somebody whose entire family still lives in South Dakota and runs a ranch. It really bothers me that she's trying to pass this off as something that South Dakotans or Middle Americans just do.
Yeah.
That really bothers me. It's not the truth, Annie.
Yeah. Okay. So, Tommy, I think the story, it does seem like nobody's taught, like literally nobody's asking Kristi Noem about what happened with her and her pets 20 years ago. But here we are talking about this story. And I do think that you're onto something, that the idea that she is in the vice presidential conversation, any story that comes up gathers the attention of all of the media, because most people want to probably tear her down because they don't like Republicans. But this story is in a greater context, and people are trying to assess her character. Why would you shoot a puppy if you could turn the puppy over to someone who could maybe train it or take better care of it? Like, what is it about this situation that, if you're somebody who grew up, we've got a lot of farm area around here in the St. Louis. Once you get out past the suburbs, a lot of rural area. A lot of people understand that you handle animals differently on a farm than you do in a suburban house when you've got your, lap dog or whatever. But why tell this story? Why does she need to look, in her words, like she's this tough person that can handle making hard decisions? Why? I just don't understand
it. Well, I can only speculate, but I think that if I'm speculating, pretty realistically, it's that this story was probably going to come out and that she wanted to get ahead of it and put a good spin on it. So my guess is it wasn't just that she's politically ridiculous and she wanted to put this in there. My guess is that this is the best way that she thought she could frame it, with this BS. On the ranch, you do tough things and you make tough decisions. Oh, give me a break. What really bothers me as well is that she's been going on this PR tour now to try to, quiet her critics, calling it fake news, the story that she wrote herself. But again, now she's trying to say that she put down the dog because it slaughtered and massacred livestock. Okay. If you have a dog who is untrained and you put him around chickens, they're still a dog. And if a dog is going to, maybe get into some chickens and kill chickens, that's not something that makes this dog a monster or a danger to society. I have a golden doodle, and he's never seen a chicken before. If I let my golden doodle out with some chickens, he's probably going to kill the chickens. My chihuahua will probably even try to take a jab at that. So it just really bothers me. But my guess is the story was going to come out. This is the best way she thought she could frame it, and now her narcissism is kicking in, and she's actually enjoying the attention she's getting, which is even worse.
So we're speaking with Tomi Lahren. She's the host of Tomi Lahren is Fearless. It's a podcast. You can check it out at outkick.com. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, 6 p.m. Central here. She pays attention to everything that's going on, just like we talk about here. So I would encourage you to check that out. You're talking a lot about Kristi Noem's character, the VP conversation. Why wouldn't she make a good vice president? What can you tell us about your personal experience with her that, forget about the dog story, would disqualify her for that part of the candidacy in your mind?
Well, again, she's not vice presidential material, and I think the conversations of her being a potential running mate for Trump are coming mostly from her camp. I don't think they're coming much from the Trump camp. I think it's something that she is trying to make fetch happen, if you will, for the Mean Girls reference there. But listen, I have a lot of issues with Kristi Noem, and one of my primary issues actually revolves around the ranching community. I think that she does a lot for her personal family farm and ranch. I don't think she does a lot for South Dakota ranchers. I've been in the ranching conversation for a long time, advocating for things like country of origin labeling and really fighting for our American ranchers, making it possible for them to be able to compete and get out from underneath the meat packers. Kristi Noem has been mostly silent on that issue, hasn't bothered to show up for South Dakotans. Another issue, I myself went to Phillips, South Dakota when the Keystone XL pipeline was shut down, talked to a lot of people in that community. I asked them, has Governor Kristi Noem been here? And they told me, no, but she's been going on TV and talking about it a lot, but she hasn't come to actually talk to us. So I think that she has gotten a little bit on a high horse, getting national media, and she's forgotten about the people of South Dakota, and that really rubs me the wrong way.
Tommy, I coach my middle school daughter's volleyball team, and yesterday was Wednesday, and I showed up. I'm like, what? Why is everybody wearing pink? And they go, on Wednesdays we wear pink. And I'm like, oh, that's not That's what the mean girls do. Wear pink on Thursdays, would you, kids? So if it's not if Kristi Noem is not the vice president for you, do you have one in mind that you think is no-brainer for Donald Trump to put on his ticket?
So logistically, this one's a challenge, but obviously I love Governor Ron DeSantis, and I think he's a true leader, a true, governor, a true patriot. So I would love to see that. I know logistically, both being from Florida, that's going to be difficult to get around. It's not that it can't be done, but it's obviously difficult. So I know that's more difficult to get around logistically. I do, however, think that Governor Ron DeSantis would make a fantastic vice president. He would make a fantastic president in 2028. So I'd love to see it. Another name that I kind of wasn't thinking of top of mind, but that I would love to see is a Senator Marco Rubio. Again, also Florida. I understand there's issues, but if you're looking for true leaders who are outspoken, who are unafraid to take on the issues and tackle the issues with true leadership and to actually get things done, I'm really loving Governor Ron DeSantis. I'm really loving Senator Marco Rubio. I think that maybe as far as it goes for maybe helping the national conversation and softening Donald Trump, maybe a Tulsi Gabbard might be an option. I don't particularly like the idea of a Democrat being my vice president, but if he were to make a strategic decision, maybe that's the way to go.
You said my two faves. Marco Rubio was my fave in 2016 from the primary standpoint, reluctantly supported Donald Trump, and so glad that he did. He came and proved that he was going to govern on the majority much more conservatively than I expected him to, but my goodness, way better than Hillary Clinton. Have loved Marco Rubio and his willingness to bring new ideas to the table, even if they're kind of rough around the edges at first. And the Ron DeSantis thing, as complicated as it might have seemed 6 months ago or 9 months ago, it does feel less complicated right now. And it would be amazing to see Donald Trump use this as an opportunity to set up the next 12 years as opposed to just the next 4 years. Do you feel like the Republican Party right now is coalescing around Donald Trump, where we can throw out names like Little Marco and Ron DeSanctimonious in the Trump conversation, and people go, yeah, it is so much better than what we're dealing with right now?
Yeah, well, listen, let's also remember back in 2016, Senator Ted Cruz and then candidate and now former President Donald Trump, they went at it, and it was pretty vicious. A lion Ted, there was a lot of back and forth. And now the two seem to be very good friends. They worked together during the Trump administration. Obviously, Ted Cruz being a great advocate for the America First agenda. So all the name calling and all that stuff aside, listen, we got to save America. And I think both Governor Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump want to save America. So I think all the infighting aside, I think the Democrats have much more of a problem with infighting. They're trying to grapple with the pro-terror element of their party. So I think as far as the DeSanctimonious and the Little Marco, that's the least of our worries, my friends.
Yeah, the party of thick skin is not the progressive left. What they have done to the Democrat Party is kind of obnoxious and laughable. And watching the Republicans be the ones who are capable of, kind of fighting it out and getting through the muck of a primary and coming out with some principles that are a pretty broad tent, I think it's an exciting thing to see, and I just hope we can get it across the finish line in November. Tomi, thank you for being with us today. It's great to hear your insight personally as a South Dakotan on Kristi Noem and all the other stuff. We appreciate you.
Oh, happy to be here. Have a great one, guys.
Yep, you as well. Tomi Lahren, host of Tomi Lahren is Fearless, podcast on Outkick.com Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Go to Outkick.com and check that out. She is fiery and she is straight to the point, and I always appreciate that you never have to question where she's coming from. Agree with her or disagree with her on any particular issue. She has her own thoughts, and she articulates them in a really strong way that makes you think yourself, and that's what it's all about. Tomi Lahren. Quick break. When we come back, we're going to get Ryan Wiggins back in studio here, and I might just hand over the whole show to him. I'm sleepy. I went to the fridge because I need to eat some food, and I was like, maybe I should get a soda. Nope. No, we're going to put the caffeine down for right now, so I got a protein shake.
We tried that 2 other days of giving him his own segment.
No, we didn't give it to him. He
just took it.
He pirated it, and we'll see if he comes. Maybe this is the way we get him to start bringing in some extra stuff just in case. He's going to come prepared, talk about whatever he wants. We'll get Ryan Wiggins back in here, and let's discuss our thoughts on today's YouTube poll when we come back. Do you like Governor Kristi Noem? I think it's safe to say Tomi Lahren's a no. What are you? Annie Fry YouTube channel, go vote. Leave a comment. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Comfort Service. You find them online. Simple. aircomfortservice.com. That's kind of an obvious one. You can give them a call at 314-513-0091. Air Comfort Service is your HVAC company of choice. Now, nobody is excited. Corey has told me this, the owner and operator of Air Comfort Service. He's like, nobody's like, oh, this is great. Let's talk to the HVAC people. I love those guys. I want them to come fix the air conditioning. It's not an exciting phone call. But it is a necessary one. And usually the longer you put it off, the more expensive it ends up being. So don't put it off. Put this number in your phone. Make sure it's there for you when you need the right people. You know who to call. It's Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. For commercial repairs, you might have been given a quote, and you might have done the, eyeballs bugging out thing when you saw it. Reach out to Air Comfort Service and get a free second opinion on a heat exchanger or compressor repair. Talk to them. Say, Annie sent us. She said you're reliable. I am a customer myself of them on multiple occasions. Basically, if it's an HVAC piece of equipment in my house, they've put it in. And I encourage you to check them out for your service. You'll be glad you did. You can trust them. I do. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Mention Annie. aircomfortservice.com.
Mike Carter here. Too often we lose sight of how fortunate we are to live in Missouri. When I travel out of state on business, people say, Mike Carter, what's so special about Missouri? Well, let's start with the mighty Mississippi and Missouri rivers traversing the state. They were the superhighways of the day, used by French fur trappers and traders. Later, American settlers like Daniel Boone and waves of pioneers drove their teams and wagons along the Boone's Lick Trail he blazed. Carter Law Offices, right now, founded by me, Mike Carter, started and is on Boone's Lick Trail, near where those intrepid settlers crossed the Missouri to harness the land. Rich soils and generations of farm families like my own grandparents made Missouri the breadbasket of America. Drive a few minutes outside our cities and towns, and you'll find yourself passing miles and miles of undulating wheat and corn, farms and ranches that feed our nation. I'm Mike Carter, and I'm proud to live and work in the Show Me State, a place God blessed just a little bit more. Go to MikeCarter.com to see more about our great state of Missouri.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749 or biglou.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Our goal at Neovitin is to make supporting your nutrition as easy as possible. That's why we created the Neovitin monthly subscription. Just go to neovitin.com, choose your multivitamin, sign up, and we will do the rest. You'll receive your Neovitin multivitamin every month with no long-term obligation. You can pause or cancel at any time, and shipping is free. Each Neovitin multivitamin includes our physician-formulated proprietary blend for nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Start supporting your nutrition the easy way with Neovitin multivitamins. Sign up for a Neovitin subscription today at neovitin.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
You want to go to the Cardinals game on May 8th? That's next Wednesday. Well, then keep listening. It's not right now. I kind of faked you out there. It's coming up in the 2 o'clock hour, so stay tuned. It's 1:45 right now. Today's poll, which I do believe we're going to talk about here in just a second. Do you like Governor Kristi Noem? Yes or no? Let us know what you think as we talk about it. 1:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Stevie Nicks is coming to Enterprise Center, and we have your chance to go for free. Tune into the Mark Cox Morning Show all this week. You could win tickets to experience an unforgettable night of timeless hits. This week, 5 to 9 on the Mark Cox Morning Show.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The truth of this story is that this was a working dog, and it was not a puppy. It was a dog that was extremely dangerous. It had come to us from a family who had found her way too aggressive. We were her second chance, and the day she was put down was a day that she massacred livestock that were part of our neighbors. She attacked me, and it was a hard decision. And the reason it's in the book is because this book is filled with tough, challenging decisions that I've had to make throughout my life. And I hope that people understand from this that what the point of this story is that most politicians, they will run from the truth. They will shy away and hide from making tough decisions. I don't do either of those.
So there's Governor Kristi Noem. And I think that Tommy said something. I kind of wish I would have thought of it before she said it, but credit where credit is due. Because my question has been, why are you talking about shooting your puppy dog? Mm-hmm. And then someone said, like, it's 14 months really a puppy. And I'm like, enough.
They still got puppy energy.
Yes, for sure. And puppy teeth and all that stuff. I don't understand why she's out talking about this. And of course, this is obvious now that Tommy pointed out to us in the conversation we just had with her. Probably because the story was going to come out, people knew about it, and she gets to tell it and get it out there in her own words, in her own account. Even if it's unsavory, then you get to control the news cycle on it.
Yeah, maybe, but then why in the book didn't she say it the way she just said it? Because the quotes that I've seen from the book are not flattering. They're like, I'm hard. I can make these hard decisions.
I hated that dog.
Yeah. And the way she said it in that clip right there, if she had just cut and paste that into the book and instead of talking about shooting the dog, just saying you put the dog down, there's ways to frame that story that are not what she did, that this wouldn't even be a story.
Well, because maybe you thought people were going to react differently.
Maybe. But to get ahead of it, you need to soften it. And she didn't.
I don't know that you can answer this question because you're a man.
I could do anything. Because I'm a man.
I think Ryan would be an expert on trying to garner sympathy.
So
let's talk about hunting dogs. Is that where you're going?
Yeah, in your experience, what kind of hunting do you do with the dogs that you train?
Our hunting dogs are all Lhasa Apsos. And they hunt 4-leaf clovers for luck.
Taco trucks. on a leash with a pink bandana.
I'm just imagining you having kennels outside with
Yeah.
lots of opsos in them.
Yeah, with a do-rag, I'm smoking a big cigar.
If-
All right, let's go, boys.
If this was Gavin Newsom, would people handle this the same way? If it were a man, I don't think they would handle it the same way. I don't think that people would automatically be okay with it. But I do think that this is ironic in a non-binary world that we live in now, that the harshness of the action is counterintuitive to the femininity of the governor. I think the contrast emphasizes the "what are you doing" part of it.
Yes, that's very possible. But I think your example of Newsom is probably a good one, more because if she were a Democrat, it would probably be okay more than a woman. The woman thing might be a part of it, but I think the bigger part is that she's conservative.
If crazy lady in Michigan, Whitmer, did something like this, that there'd be some sort of like women can do what men can do angle to it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do, because she's a Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, that there's any sense of, since it's on the Republican side, if it were, I'm trying to think of a Sununu.
Chris Christie.
I don't want to use
Larry Hogan.
I don't want to use like Ron DeSantis, because Ron DeSantis is too big of an entity.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't represent or Governor Northam.
Okay.
People know him. People don't know everything about him. People know everything about Ron DeSantis. They know more than even things that are real about Ron DeSantis. But at Governor Northam, Youngkin? Which one's the Republican? Youngkin.
Are you talking about Youngkin from Virginia?
Yes.
Okay.
I always get them
Northam
confused.
was the Democrat.
Northam wants us to consider killing babies that were failed abortions, which just walk yourself through that sentence for a minute. Governor Youngkin in Virginia. I could totally see. I mean, I could probably Google it right now and find it. Like him with a hunting dog and a shotgun in a field of overgrown, breezy grass.
Yeah.
If he had to put a dog down, do you think people would react to that the same way they are with Kristi Noem? I just don't really think that they do. I don't think it's the issue here, but I do think that it comes into play.
Yeah, it's hard to say that it wouldn't come into play. Although with Youngkin, he's a good choice for this because he's supposed to be moderate. He is kind of a rising star in a way. I do think it would be an issue. I think it would regardless, if it's a Republican.
I still think it has more to do with the delivery than anything.
I agree. Like if Youngkin said this in the exact same way that Kristi Noem did.
Yeah, because I was imagining Gavin Newsom, whenever you brought him up as the first example, saying that. And I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
Seems like something you do.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just the crassness and the uncaring part of it. And it's like, man, working dogs or not, dogs are partners with people. They're with you, and it should be a sad thing if the dog has to be put down. And you say, we took him out and we had to put her or him down. And that's it. I mean, it was a sad moment or whatever. I hated to have to do this. However, that is the rancher angle. That is the whatever, because usually the dog is there with you through thick and thin.
And actually, that would have been identifiable because you could sort of tug on your own emotional strings and say, look, this was a hard decision that I had to make. I know many people have had to make a similar decision. Even if you don't have a hunting dog, you've had to put a dog down. There's your political angle where you find that moment and say, I had to make a hard decision, and yet it was the right decision. Despite all the emotions that you had when you did that, I had those same emotions, but she didn't. She said, I hated that dog, and that changed the whole thing.
It was super easy for me to shoot this dog in a gravel pit.
Yeah.
Not the best delivery of that.
The reason the story is told is because she shot the dog.
Yes.
It's not because the dog was bad. It's not because the dog did bad things. It's not because she had a hunting dog that didn't work. It's because she is the one who shot the dog. If she did what I think a lot of people are thinking, why didn't you just give that dog away? There's somebody who would have, there's a shelter that would have taken that dog.
Mm-hmm.
If she is this dog won't hunt, gives it to a shelter, you don't write about that in a book. So in that essence, the reason why you tell the story is because you killed the dog, which is, again, weird. Tomi Lahren does not like Kristi Noem.
No.
I didn't know we were going to be coming in that hot. I've heard some stuff on Twitter that she's put out talking about it, and I knew that she was like not flattering towards Kristi Noem about the dog thing, but I didn't know that it was like another one.
Yeah.
Do you like Kristi Noem?
I would have zero problem voting for Kristi Noem. I don't think I have any issues with her positions on policy that I can remember anyway. That's
not the question.
She's always had...
You could really dislike somebody and vote for them.
She's always had a little something to me that seemed a little bit...
disingenuous. Fake.
That's the word I'm looking for. Not inidentifiable, like that she wasn't quite what
Authentic.
she was putting
Genuine.
across. Thank you. Those are all very good synonyms for exactly what I was trying to say. Very, very good. Yeah, that's. Do you feel the same way? Is that why you're saying that? Because it's always been in the back of my head with her.
I'm asking you the question.
I'm okay. Well, that's
Do you
even
like her?
before this. Even before this.
It's not a question about would you vote for her, would you support her, would you vote for Joe Biden over Chris? No. Do you like her?
Her big moment that she became a national figure to me was when she spoke at the RNC convention in 2020. From then on, I always thought, yeah, she seems like a good politician, but she seems like a politician to me.
Do you like her?
No.
Thank you. Bradley.
Yes.
Bradley Ford.
Bradley Ford.
Bradley Ford.
Do you like her?
No. I like when all I knew about her was how she handled COVID. I was like, I like that. That's good, strong leadership. And the more I learn about her, the more I'm like, there's, like you were saying, there's just something else there that I...
Just to be explicitly clear and to get ahead of the commenters, is it just because she's a woman?
Yes.
I don't like her either. I don't like her. Would I vote for her over a Democrat? 100%. Would I campaign the heck out of her being the governor of Illinois? In a heartbeat.
Please.
Oh, I don't like her much.
Okay.
I'll be a no. We need to know what you are, and so you come on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote and let us know why you voted the way you did. Tell us if you like Kristi Noem. Let's take a quick break. We're going to have Annie, Are You Okay? in the next hour. Don't go away.
We're entering remodeling season. If you've considered new windows, let me recommend my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here. Here's the great thing about Window World. Not just the preferred window of our hometown St. Louis Blues, they're now the official window of the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. So if you're considering replacement windows, this is the company you want to work with. I'm a satisfied customer. I've got 2 other windows in my master bathroom. We couldn't be happier with those. They have a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, all the glass breakage and labor. There's a reason why in just over 20 years of business, they've improved the look and thermal efficiency of 72,000 plus customers in the greater St. Louis area. A Window World is fantastic. The windows are so durable. Not only do they stand behind their windows, at the showroom, they actually stood on a window right in front of me. You're going to love it. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800 or windowworld.com.
Do you have work that needs done around one of your rental properties? Go to murphycleanoutservices.com. Once you get there, you'll see that they are not just a cleanout service, although that is a very common need if you have rental properties. You know, they do everything. So you'll see rapid rental renovations there too, because they do so much, from big things like roofs and replacing floors and flooring to just some painting, blinds, changing out locks. If it's something you need at a rental property that you have, they do it. And let me tell you something. These are good bids that they're going to give to you. I know that's the first thing you think of is, yeah, okay, they'll save me some time, which they do. 2 weeks. Get that thing back on the market. That'll save you money too. But they give you excellent bids. I've had them come out and bid out some of my properties, both in terms of rehabs and in terms of people who have moved out of properties. As long as it's vacant, give them a call. Start at murphycleanoutservices.com, murphycleanoutservices.com.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Protests aren't changing his mind. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden says pro-Palestinian encampments across the country are not making him rethink Mideast policy. He also says protesters don't have the right to cause chaos.
Order must prevail, President Biden says, across college campuses where pro-Palestinian protests have closed schools and sparked violence.
Threatening people, intimidating people, instilling fear in people is not peaceful protest. It's against the law.
The president acknowledged deep emotions and convictions over the war in Gaza, but says dissent must not lead to disorder, and hate speech of any kind cannot be tolerated.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. President Biden also says he does not support deploying the National Guard. Police clearing more encampments and making more arrests last night and early today, but tents remain at George Washington University in D.C. and at NYU, despite hundreds of arrests this week at Columbia and City College in New York City. Fox's Alexis McAdams.
Police tell us nearly half of them were found to have absolutely no affiliation with those schools. We know around 300 people were arrested at those protests, and after those arrests, students say they're still not backing down.
We will not rest. We will not rest. We will not rest until they divest and until the Zionist entity falls.
No colleges have agreed to divest from Israel, but at least one, Brown University in Rhode Island, did agree to more dialogue and a future vote in order to help de-escalate a protest there. Former President Trump praising police, criticizing the protests.
This is a movement from the left. These are radical left lunatics.
As he headed back into court earlier today, day 10 of his criminal trial in New York, after holding two campaign rallies yesterday in Michigan and Wisconsin on a day off from the trial. America is listening to Fox News.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
85 should do it for the high this afternoon. We'll keep an eye out for a couple of scattered thunderstorms, non-severe. Otherwise, partly sunny and windy. Again, 85 for the high. Tonight, some scattered showers, some non-severe thunderstorms around 62. Friday, maybe a leftover shower or thunderstorm first thing in the morning Friday. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine, slightly cooler, 75. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
So windowworld.com is the website you can go to shop for your replacement windows. You shop Window World in St. Louis. These are local folks, and they have been running Window World here in St. Louis very successfully for a long time, and the brand speaks for itself. When Window World comes to your home or to show you the kind of replacement windows, the quality that you're going to get, you're going to understand why they've been so successful, why over 70,000 customers in St. Louis have relied on the thermal efficiency of these Window World windows for their degraded, their broken, their just downgraded windows, probably builder's grade that were put in 20 years ago, 40 years ago, who knows. You need something that's quality. You don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it. They're upfront and honest with you. They care very deeply about their reputation and the quality of the window and the quality of the service, and especially the quality of the lifetime warranty that goes along with it. It all stacks up. I want you to call 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800 if you are in the market for replacement windows. Make sure you let them know that Annie sent you. They're going to take great care of you. You're going to be glad that you made the phone call. 314-993-1800, windowworld.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage available at Navage.com.
The Patriot Training Foundation trains law enforcement and military at the region's top facility free of charge. Kim Sainanj here. We're raising awareness for the Patriot Training Foundation's mission to serve those who serve our nation. Visit 971talk.com/care to learn more.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We appreciate you being with us this afternoon. We just got done discussing our thoughts on the YouTube live chat poll. Do you like Governor Kristi Noem, yes or no? We want to know what you think, and you can come to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote there and let us know and leave some comments. I'm going to read some comments here real quick, and then we'll move on. Vicky said, yes, not that I want her to be my VP. My mind has changed on that, not because of anything personally. I love what she has done for South Dakota, and as a possible retirement spot, that matters to me. Chris said on the poll, I have no idea who that is. Really?
Okay.
Gary says, first to vote, yes, I like her politics, don't know much about her personally. Greg said, voted yes, but wouldn't let her pet sit for me. Okay, I see you there. And Dan said, can't vote today. Other than the media and people overreacting to her shooting a puppy, I just don't know much about her. And I'm like, well, that's all you know about her.
Yeah.
Can you vote?
Dan's profile picture is a puppy sleeping.
Oh. Hopefully it's not her puppy.
But to his point,
Cricket.
This her Howard Dean Yell moment.
Hurrah.
I mean, it seems like it kind of is, you know? She may have peaked as governor of South Dakota. I don't know if she's going beyond that now.
What do you got for us today?
Myself?
Mm-hmm.
What do I have for you? I have a fantastic story for you.
You have content?
Oh, yeah.
You came prepared?
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? I'm always prepared.
Are you kidding me? It feels
not,
like
no,
you're kidding.
I'm not kidding you.
It feels like you're kidding me.
I wouldn't joke around about content. I'm serious about
The
content.
only thing you do is joke around.
No. I'm very, very serious. People know that. When people come up to me on the streets, they're like, are you on the Annie Fry show? Are you that serious guy on the Annie Fry show?
You sound like Joe Biden. Put that through a
Not kidding.
Yeah, not a joke.
Come on,
Are
man.
you serious?
Not a joke.
Go on.
The frat boys at UNC.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen what's happened since that story broke?
The GoFundMe? Yeah.
This is awesome.
It was
Isn't that
over
cool?
300,000 yesterday, right?
Wow.
This says the GoFundMe page has raised more than 260,000, but then there must be a couple other ones going because it says the total is 377,000 raised at the time of this article, which was 9:02 this morning. So it may be a little higher now. This is the boys who the men who took down the flag. The Palestinian flag and put up the U.S. flag. I love that this was in North Carolina. And go ahead. You obviously have an update.
Yeah, the GoFundMe currently, the Phi Kappa Phi men defend their flag, throw them a rager. GoFundMe is at $437,951.
That's cool.
Clap for America.
That's almost $500,000.
Yes.
That's cool.
For a rager.
The headline is Phi Kappa Phi men defended their flag. Throw them a rager. 437,000.
That's going to be quite a party.
Yeah, you could save a country with that. Well, in a small town.
Yeah. Man, that's cool. It says enduring insults, middle fingers, and flying water bottles, about a dozen fraternity brothers stood their ground around the American flag at the University of North Carolina on Tuesday. It said, quote, these people wanted to tear down the flag, and we were there to protect it. Phi Kappa Phi member Brendan Rosenblum told News Nation on Balance, me and my friends did not want to allow that to happen. The standoff began when pro-Palestinian protesters raised the Palestinian flag on the pole. UNC Chancellor Lee Roberts, accompanied by police officers, took it down and rehung the U.S. flag, which was flying at half-staff in honor of law enforcement killed on Monday in Charlotte. When Roberts left and protesters tried again to take down the American flag, Rosenblum, some of his fraternity brothers, and other students stepped in. They surrounded the flagpole and kept the big flag from touching the ground. Rosenblum also held an Israeli flag.
I like reading some of these donations. There are 3 people who have given $10,000 or more.
Wow.
And then there's 5,000, 2,000, $1,776.
Nice.
That was
excellent.
Yeah. And then a lot of people who were giving 4 figures to this. It's so great to see people go. Here's somebody who gave $500, and their name is Liberal Tears. I could go through and look at all these for quite some time.
This is exactly why they're attacking toxic masculinity. Because this kind of stuff, they just don't want it. They want to do whatever they want.
They don't want
know
anybody to stand up to them.
that these are the kind of people who stand up to that crap.
And the thing that's really interesting, and this ties into the protester running into that cop, when strong men do something, there's nothing they can do about it. They can stand there, they can yell, they can rage, they can run into him and fall down. But these are just young men, part of a fraternity, defending the flag, and all they could do is scream, yell, and flip them off. And they're just like, we're not having it. And like I said, that smirk on that kid's face is the attitude America needs to have towards these protests.
It's the attitude they had in 1776. Come at me, bro.
Mm-hmm. Come at me on my own territory.
All right, what do you got next?
That was the big one.
This is a great day for you to
Thank you.
really shine.
Thank you. I do have some more health news. I don't know if you want to go there. It's a little less impactful than that stuff.
I think that it would be workable if you changed the category. Because the last part of your health news was the new Taco Bell menu.
Yeah, that was a fun one to title.
Was it?
It was like your health in examination plus new tacos. Here's one for this one, kind of more for you, Annie. Although it can apply to anybody. Do you find yourself too hot while sleeping,
What
or
do you
too
mean by
cold, or too cold? Well, we established in the 12 o'clock hour that when you wake up every morning, you do the worm in bed to wake everybody up.
I don't know if it was established.
No, we established that as a fact. We talked it over and determined that it was true without your consent. We just assumed that it was. So it is.
I will, under a really bad string of decisions, probably try to do the worm by Sunday. It's going to feel really good.
Monday, Annie calls in.
That image just cracks me up, that you wake up and you're like, another day. Broop, 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 broop.
To the bathroom.
What would that sound like?
The way an actual worm moves, which is broop, 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 broop. Also the sound a horse makes.
Are these Collinsville worms?
So approximately
Worms and horses?
57% of U.S. adults report at least occasionally being too hot while sleeping. 37% report being too cold. And they give the ideal temperature. Do you keep your house
Body temperature or room temperature?
room temperature?
Because those are different.
Room temperature, yeah. The worm will heat you up.
Not if you do it right and you're well trained.
I guess that's
assume.
true. Yeah, like a marathon runner, once you do the worm enough, your body adapts.
That's the only way I do the marathon. What is the room temperature, the ideal room temperature?
Yeah, what's the ideal room temperature?
67 degrees.
Brad?
I'm with Annie. That's the exact number I had in my head.
You are, where's the bell?
Of course we're correct.
Yeah, it says between 65 and
That was like
67 degrees is the ideal, according to scientists now. This is science saying this.
Is this the science? or
This is
science?
the science. Chris Winter, MD, a neurologist and sleep medicine specialist, said that the ideal temperature for sleep is a little bit cooler. The whole flipping the pillow thing is not something that I understand, but I do understand keeping it cool.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow?
No, I've never done that. I don't
Stuart-
understand it.
Oh,
What's his name? Scott's? No, Scott.
Stuart Scott. Yeah.
Stuart Scott?
From
Yeah, cool-
ESPN?
yeah, he's cooler than
Oh, yeah.
the other side of the pillow.
Yeah, he would have all these really fun phrases when he would do. This is like when you'd watch ESPN for sports
Yeah.
highlights, and he'd say he's cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yeah, I don't ever flip my pillows.
How? Why?
Because the whole cold pillow thing just doesn't, I don't get it.
Maybe it's because you're not cool.
No, it's because I'm hot. There you go. And since you gave this segment over to me, I'm going to go on to the next story,
Yeah.
which is back really to the original topic.
Mm-hmm.
More than 200 arrested as police dismantle UCLA pro-Palestinian camp. I think why this has gotten my attention so much is because this is a liberal bastion in a liberal state where they would have complete cover, and they're still not having it. This is such a stupid issue for these people to be pushing, and they are losing everywhere on it. And that is good for America.
Is this still health news?
No, it's back to the
You're
original.
just reading headlines on Fox.
No, I had a couple pulled,
Uh-huh.
and one of them was health. It's the order that I kind of messed up, because I should have stuck with the original topic when we were talking about the kids on UNC campus. But I love seeing that the police are the heroes right now, and everybody is behind them. No matter where you are in the United States, they are being called to break this stuff up.
Not that one guy who ran into him with his garbage pail. He was in front of him.
That guy.
He was right there in front, and then he was on the
Then
ground.
he was below him.
Wink.
I don't know if you've seen, if you're listening, I don't know if you've seen the clip that they've been talking about and we're talking about now.
Everybody that we're talking to is listening.
Yes. But if you were listening earlier when you guys were talking about it.
Okay, I got you.
That clip is really funny. And it's so funny that I was in the midst of doing all kinds of pre-show stuff, and Brad comes into my office and goes, Ryan, you got to see this. You got to see this. And I'm like, hang on, I got a meeting. I was talking with Trisha and something was going on. And you're like, no. You got to come. Whenever you're done, I'll just leave it pulled up.
Yeah, I queued it up and left it paused.
We have a great idea. It needs to happen.
It is a good idea.
You should make it happen.
I need to get some video editing software at home. I haven't had any for a while. I used to do all this TV stuff, and it's all gone.
We can get that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I was actually thinking about buying an Apple computer just to have all the stuff.
It's worth it. It's a good investment. Should we say the idea on the air and let somebody else do it and take credit for it, or should we just wait on it?
I think we should say it. because it is a good idea if somebody wants to grab it fast while it's still hot.
No, I want you to do it.
I know, but I don't have the software.
Since you're so hot.
Well, I am hot. But
sweating.
Go ahead. You can. It was your idea, and it's a
Should I
good
say
one.
it out loud, or should I?
I think Ryan should do it.
Put it on Ryan.
Yes.
How's the Friday campaign ad coming?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty much done.
For tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's hold off on it.
Hold off on the campaign ad?
No. You have expectations for that tomorrow. We're going to hold off on saying our idea, and we're going to see if we can get you some video editing software today.
Okay.
I'd be willing to bet we can have something by the end of the day.
That you don't have to pay for. This
Yeah,
is a win.
absolutely. Free.
Oh, sure. I would love to have it. It's just it's all about time. That's the only thing that I'm nervous about, having time to do it.
I'm super distracted, and I cannot wait to report on things I'm trying to pay attention to and watch right now. Okay, just listen to the rest of the show. Listen to the rest of the show. We'll have Trisha in here when we come back. She's going to do Annie, Are You Okay? And I'm going to give you the latest on my seemingly forever long day. 2:45, 2:50. Stick around. We're Annie Fry Show in a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
With my head down low, where the sky can't rain on me anymore. Don't knock on my door, 'cause I won't come. I'm hiding from the storm till the damage is done.
The Bagel Loan, Stewie. We've talked about my friend Stewie many times. I am a 2-time customer of the Bagel Loan, and when I talk to you about getting your mortgage through Stewart's American Mortgage, I say this as somebody who is a 2-time customer, and I want you to understand how when you work with Stewie, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, Stewie is going to walk you through the process of getting a Bagel Loan where you don't pay any closing costs. When you qualify for the Bagel Loan, closing costs not in the equation. This means that when you go to get your mortgage, you are going to save potentially thousands and thousands of dollars on that transaction. If you've been recommended to somebody else to check out their mortgage, see what they can do for you, of course, but don't leave Stewart's American Mortgage out of the picture. Give him a chance to earn your business. You can call him or text him at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie for your home purchase or for your mortgage refinance and ask him how the Bagel Loan can help you. Google the Bagel Loan for more information and MLS number 226715.
Baseball is in full swing. NBA playoffs are heating up, and your NFL team is gearing up for training camp. Listen to the latest on the teams you love with the free Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams with Odyssey. AUDACY. Download the free Odyssey app today.
Bo Matthews here for Missouri Brush Control, the #1 selective land clearing experts. And if you own any amount of acreage, I believe this is the best time of the year to make decisions on what you'd like cleared on your property. Real estate beautification is one thing that Missouri Brush Control does best. With their forestry mulching machines, they can remove unwanted trees and vegetation to enhance the aesthetics and value of your property, so you can enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more and check out the gallery of great before and after images of projects they've done at MissouriBrushControl.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is
is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-296-8708. 800-296-8708. Again, that's 800-296-8708. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seating is limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you close to retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned about more market volatility the closer we get to the election? Would you like to know how linking to the market is smarter and safer than owning the market? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any losses and provide more income than your current plan? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect that retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Get in your comfort zone with double Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $4,200 and 0% financing up to 72 months on a new HVAC system. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
I listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app.
Download it. It's easy.
Yeah, it's super easy.
To listen to 97.1 FM Talk, no matter where you are. Your home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
It's getting near dawn. When lights close the tired eyes, I'll soon be with you, my love. Give you my dawn surprise. I'll be with you, darling, soon.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Trisha in the house. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hi, Annie and crew.
Hello. Hi.
How we doing?
Good.
Well,
Right.
we were, but the
Enough
music
of that.
stopped.
Should I see myself out?
Yeah.
Good job. Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you very much. A drunken tourist was injured after kicking a bison in Yellowstone National Park.
Ryan.
I had a couple, and that bison was looking at me.
An obnoxious 40-year-old man thought it was a good idea to kick a bison in the leg. The bison wasn't
Never
having
kick a
it.
bison in the leg.
No, this bison attacked him back, only causing minor injuries, though. The man was charged with being under the influence of alcohol, disorderly conduct, and approaching and disturbing wildlife. Annie, are you okay with tourists?
The bison was looking at my wife, and I was like, you need to get back in your place, bison. And also, I was drunk.
Really? Tourists? I don't know. We don't have any tourists here. Everywhere that I go that are tourists, I am one.
Yeah, that's fair. You're usually on the side of the tourist first.
I kind of think that embracing being a tourist is gosh, I hope I'm not wrong on this, but I feel like embracing the touristiness of being a tourist is the most important thing that you can do, so that you're not like going to New York City and being like, I'm a New Yorker.
I'm too
It's
cool
like,
for it.
No, I am from the Midwest, and I'm sorry that we ran into each other.
Excuse me.
Yes, and just kind of giving yourself in. People talk about tourist traps. I'm like, tell me where they all are. If it's the first time I've been there, those are the places I want to go the first time that I've been there, so I can experience the things. So I don't know. I feel like the only thing I can say about this is I hope that people have patience for me when I'm a tourist. Right.
I agree with Annie on this one. I don't really see enough of them to really be judgmental, so it's hard.
It would be great if
Yep.
St. Louis would get on that and make it so that we could have some tourism.
I know. I'm sitting here going,
Nice.
we have a lot of stuff that people could come
There's
see.
stuff that would
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah. It's just.
If you go down to the Arch, you do see some tourists there. But
Yeah,
that's
they're
about the only
there are
place.
people who are in town for a tournament on the weekend.
Yes.
The event is here, but they're not coming to see the city. They will see the city while they're here, but they're not like, where we should go? St. Louis, which is a shame because we have so much to offer. But people just Google it. We're not really like the shining star. We could be, we should be, but we aren't.
I sometimes think about us like Pittsburgh. Like, would you ever go like, oh man, where I should take the family this month is to Pittsburgh. But we have big things that people know us for, like the Arch. So we're not the same as everybody else. We
Pittsburgh
have
has
attractions.
the bridges and the rivers.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a shot at Pittsburgh?
It's fun.
Pittsburgh's supposed to be kind of like a St. Louis sister city.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be very similar.
Nice. Florida bans lab-grown meat.
Good.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is banning the sale of lab-grown meat. He said that Florida was, quote, fighting back against the global elite's plan to force the world to eat meat grown in a petri dish and promised to focus on investing in our local farmers and ranchers. Annie, are you okay with lab-grown meat?
Hell no. No. I have a hard enough time. Did you hear my story about going to Wendy's and asking about the chicken sandwich?
No, I missed it.
Do you eat chicken sandwiches from fast food restaurants?
Occasionally.
Do you care about the quality of the chicken?
No, because it's usually a McChicken and I know what I'm getting.
I'm not eating those. But McDonald's could have like a probably 3 times as expensive chicken sandwich, but I expect it to be a whole white meat chicken breast.
When you like Popeyes has a good chicken sandwich, I have. That's
real
great.
chicken.
Yes, my McChickens. I know that.
Yes, or anything that comes in a nugget. There are no nuggets on chickens.
Depends on how you cut it. Like if that chicken was looking at my wife.
And he had a couple of drinks.
Is there something we need to know?
I'd pull out one of those little pocket knives and be like, it's nugget time,
You're
chicken.
probably looking at your wife like, blink if you need help.
My wife's like, please stop killing animals just because you're around me.
We saw your husband. He kicked that bison. Run left. Just go.
Honey, did you see that squirrel go up that tree? It looked at you right before it did. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to get that thing.
Right at the bottom of the tree. Get down here.
Amanda, who has been listening to the show for a long time, reminds me that I do not call them chicken nuggets. They're chicky nuggies. And that doesn't make them sound like they're real food either. But I went to Wendy's and I asked, that's where my son wanted to go after a track meet. And I'm doing the thing where I'm like telling my husband, ask them. Is it a whole white chicken breast, whole white meat chicken breast? And he looks at me, the like split second, are you serious? You can make me do this? And like as they're forming that look on their face, they're like, yeah, she's serious. I have to ask this question. And then they relay it. And the person in there in speaker goes, I don't know.
And then left.
No. Yeah. Well, yeah. She left.
Yeah.
She left.
Yeah.
There was like 60 seconds plus of nothing. And my husband like said something like, continue to order and nobody said anything, whatever. And then we're like, I think we're leaving. So we left and we went to somewhere else. But I care about that chicken. When you eat a chicken breast, I will always break it apart a little bit to see if the chicken peels
like
in
chicken
the way
should.
that chicken should.
Yeah.
If you open it and it's just like sponge.
Chicken nuggies.
Does lab-grown chicken meat look like real chicken? I need to know. because I don't want to get duped.
Even if it does look, that's scarier, right?
Yes, I don't want to eat it.
Right.
I don't want to eat anything lab grown. Like I want to eat what God put on this green earth for us to consume. The closest I can get to that, the better. Not in a Petri dish. And if they're making it and it peels apart like kind of strings the way you can shred chicken or whatever, I want to know if that's possible because I want to make sure that, chicken, not chicky nuggies.
It'd be fun to kind of eat some exotic animals, though. Stuff that you couldn't normally eat that they could grow in a lab because it wouldn't be illegal.
You remember when you brought us back from Japan eggs of a bird and you're like, I thought you'd like these. They're pickled.
Yeah.
And it's like, how long did you think that?
Yeah.
They're so gross
It would be fun.
looking.
You could eat all these. I would pray over everything still. Thank you, God, so much for creating the lab from which thine hands made this.
The Wuhan lab?
Zebra.
Yeah.
This virus.
Ryan's eating
This
fake bat
warthog.
meat.
Yeah, thank you.
Ugh. There's some gross comments about chicken in the chat.
North Carolina child says she hears monster in the wall, but it
Monster in the wall, chicken in the chat.
turns out to be 50,000 bees. A mother has gone viral on TikTok after she revealed that her little girl's complaint about hearing monsters inside her walls ended up being a swarm of 50,000 bees. The bees were able to get into the house through an attic vent via a hole that was smaller than the top of a pin.
Call that Arizona guy.
A beekeeper removed more than 100 pounds of honey and honeycomb from the walls.
Oh, that's a
So
bonus.
they've been in there for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Annie, are you okay with bees?
Yes. Bees, they know. Remember that whole, we went through a momentary panic about save the bees. We really do need to save the bees. If the bees go away, we're screwed. I think I just heard this the other day. It's 1/3 of every bite of food that you put in your mouth requires bees participating at some point in some way, shape, or form. If the bees were gone, it would affect that much of what you consume. So absolutely save the bees. But they spook the heck out of my kids. And there's nothing if they don't sting you unless you aggress them. So when they're around your kids and then they start panicking and then you panic, it's not good. But to the kid who heard this in the wall, it is really super creepy when your kid senses something or knows something's happening and then it materializes into something. Even if it's not a monster in the wall, that kid was in tune to something and it materialized into something real. And I feel like that would be really scary going forward. The next time your kid says something, you just have to believe them more than you would believe other kids who are imagining things or whatever. But also to just kind of let your mind wander about stuff.
Yeah,
just
go back to sleep. I'm sure it's nothing, and they're just bathing in honey.
The walls are bleeding honey.
Yeah, that's nothing. Don't worry about that.
What's the Winnie the Pooh movie that just came out? Blood and Honey.
Blood and honey. Yeah. And also the guy that is okay, that was bee number 499,999.
Oh, crap, I lost count.
Ah,
Start again.
Over. Make sure I got them all.
We'll report this.
How did they find that number?
More than 50,000.
Is he just eyeballing it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's about
Roughly.
50,000.
Give or take a few. Texas bachelor looking for love pays $400 a week for a billboard sign about enjoying karaoke. A 70-year-old Texas man is dedicated to finding his special someone. According to his billboard, he describes himself as a lonely male who is seeking a female marriage-minded person who enjoys karaoke. The billboard, 20 feet high, includes an image of this man. He says he has received hundreds of calls and dozens of emails after the first 2 weeks. Annie, are you okay with karaoke?
Yes. We did talk a little bit about the story the other day, and Ryan said that he's never karaoke'd before. That blows my mind.
I've never karaoke.
Oh, are we going to do a show karaoke then?
It's fine. In somebody's apartment I have, but not out in
You've
public.
never gone out
We
in public?
established that
No.
they weren't awake, and he was the only other person in the apartment at the time.
I was really just looking for food.
No, you have to go out. You have to have a couple of adult beverages.
Didn't you go to karaoke with me?
I did go to karaoke with you.
Yes. And a former coworker of ours, we went karaoke.
Out Collinsville, right? We had a work event and then
VFW.
we're like, let's karaoke.
I was an MC for an auction, and then we were like, let's go out to the old VFW, and yeah.
Here's the thing. You and our former coworker are both very good singers. I am not. So I just have
Did
the
you sing?
drinks. No. I have, though. But it's usually Spice Girls or Usually Spice Girls with other people.
I need to know from the people in the chat who are like our closest followers, probably, if you would come to a charity event. I don't want it to be fancy. Like, don't get any ideas about making this a big deal. It needs to be at a local Legion or VFW, and like, you just show up in Venmo for the charity and we could raise some money. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Would you come for karaoke? And then at what amount would we have to raise, Ryan, for you to sing a song of my choosing?
Ooh, that's tough because I'm doing a fancy karaoke that same night. So, I mean, if I could split events, I will. But it would be I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner. Which was part of the bump music today.
What's the number?
Oh, that was the question?
Nobody cares what you're singing because I said I was picking the song.
Oh, okay.
Do you see how you just didn't listen to anything I said?
Yeah,
and then you complicated it, flipped it on its head, and didn't answer the question.
I'm picturing what I would like to do, and that's what I would like to do. I would like you to choose that for me after we raise $100 million.
Pennies. How many is that? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
I'll do it
billion.
for probably $5 or $6, though.
It's like 2 McChickens.
Chicken nugget. CDC reports vampire facials at unlicensed spa.
Sounds like something Ryan would do.
Sounds like a band.
This is terrible.
Vampire facial.
This is terrible. It likely caused HIV for 3 women.
No.
Yeah, according to a new report published by the CDC, 3 women likely contracted HIV after receiving vampire facials at an unlicensed spa in New Mexico. For those of you who don't know, I did not.
So a vampire facial in an unlicensed spa.
Yeah. So a vampire facial is a procedure where they draw blood from your arm and then put it somewhere else on your body.
Ryan's like, so there's a discount.
It's your own blood.
It's the cheap version of...
Tell me what the downside is.
Of a facelift.
Oh, now we got a license taking blood out of your arm and putting it into your face.
It's just the man stuffing in there and putting a fee on a regulation.
No kidding.
I'm not supporting that.
Ugh. Vampire facial licenses now. When's the government going to stop this stuff?
What's the question?
Are you okay with vampire facials?
I'm okay with facials, but not those.
It's weird, right?
I have had facials that are as relaxing as like full body massages.
I think it's weirder to have the idea of Botox is less weird to me than putting my own blood back in my face.
No, that's
Am I alone in that?
I don't want that. I just want someone to take the dead skin off my face.
Oh, yeah,
and make
I want
it look
that
fresh.
too.
This sounds like something trendy that doesn't actually do anything. Like you remember, and maybe I'm way off on this.
Are you talking about the government?
Yes. Like 1776, they're like, let's try this. We're like, wait a minute, it's gotten a little out of hand. Remember when Michael Phelps used to he'd sit on the
Cupping.
sidelines and that cupping stuff?
Everybody cups.
They
I was
still do
like,
that.
is this going to be a trend or is this going to stick around? Because I'm waiting on vampire facials.
Why don't you
waiting on the science?
Why don't you, instead of criticizing it, go get it done and see what you think?
A vampire facial? They better be licensed.
No, cupping. We'll just let a listener do it so it's cheap.
I am not doing unlicensed cupping, and also,
You're worried about the cuppage?
I'm worried about the size. I'm like, if you're gonna do cupping on me, I want a D cup.
You want a D cup?
Yeah, I want to go
Why
all the way.
stop there?
What?
Double D.
Yeah, if the world's at your fingertips here, you're just satisfied with D. Got
The world is at my fingertips. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
I'm with you, my love.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Yes, I'm with you, my love. It's the morning and just we two. I'll stay with you, darling, now. I'll stay with you till my seas are dried up.
There are some home improvements that you can do that will just dramatically bring to life your home, and flooring is one of those. The smell of fresh, clean carpet in your home, the beautiful Mohawk Smart Strand silk line that has a superior performance, the durability, the cleanability factor. all of this, when you put it in your house, it's like breathing new life into your home. Of course, it's an investment. You know that you're going to have to make an investment when you install new flooring in your home. Michael's Flooring Outlet is there to make sure that that investment is one that is going to be a positive experience beginning to end. When you shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet or on their website at igotfloor.com, you are going to quickly understand how a family-owned and operated St. Louis business like Michael's Flooring Outlet has been so successful in this amount of time. It's by always making sure that the customer is the center of attention, making sure that you do get those quality products that you can rely on, but that you're not overpaying, that the value is as much to shout about as the quality. And the customer service to guide you through the process, it'll have you recommending Michael's Flooring Outlet to the next person. You can find them online at igotfloor.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seating is limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you close to retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned about more market volatility the closer we get to the election? Would you like to know how linking to the market is smarter and safer than owning the market? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any losses and provide more income than your current plan? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect that retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
It's time to win free Cardinals tickets. Why not? You're having a good day. Let's make it better. Or you're having a bad day. Let's make it a good day. Call 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Be the 11th caller, and you can get tickets to Wednesday, May 8th, game versus the Mets, the Cardinals game, 314-241-9797. And the time is 2:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Stevie Nicks is coming to Enterprise Center, and we have your chance to go for free. Tune into the Mark Cox Morning Show all this week. You could win tickets to experience an unforgettable night of timeless hits. This week, 5 to 9 on the Mark Cox Morning Show.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The YouTube live chat poll for today, do you like Governor Kristi Noem? Yes or no? We're going to get to your thoughts here in just a few minutes. You get the reaction there. Do you think they're going to be, when you look from where these protests, when they kind of started to take on a bigger thing at Columbia to where they are now, I would say it's definitely accelerated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it continue to get worse before it gets better, or have we now gotten to the place where, like, okay, enough's enough, we're reining it in, or do they continue to grow? Because in 2020, which was a different time, we just protested for months.
It continues to grow from here. I don't think it's going to go down until May 17th, because that's pretty much the last day most colleges are in session. So between now and then, I think it just keeps going.
I don't know that it grows though. What we're seeing differently here is police actively ending these occupations and these takeovers. They're going in, like, we didn't see this within a couple weeks of stacked up fences, backhoes, like throwing the crap into dumpsters, people being cleared out. They're actually doing that now.
If these are the same people and maybe the same funding pushing the protest this go around as some of the last ones were, they kept going.
Oh, yeah, but this is going to be more like whack-a-mole rather than just a spread across the country.
Well, but they are kind of spread across the country, though. We had a lot on the East Coast in New England. They went down to UNC. We talked about that. They were in Florida. Depends on the state. They're cracking down on them.
Yeah.
But now the ones we're looking at right now on Fox News is UCLA. So I don't see...
Yeah, but
I don't know that it's going to get worse.
Shutting it down.
But the point is they exist. These are big altercations that are happening. Sometimes that's what they want is, all of these images to get out there to show that they're making a difference and they're doing their thing. So I don't know that it stops between now and the end of this college year. And you're right. It probably will. If it doesn't escalate, it'll just spread out. You'll see more and more colleges. I mean, we've had college campuses here that have been hit by these things. So I think you'll just see more and more colleges having it happen.
I don't think that any of this helps the Democrats' cause politically. I worry that it becomes a bigger cross to bear, so to speak, for our country outside of politics. Because these are dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's chaos. I've heard about arrests that are being made. It was like more than 50%. I can't remember which campus it was at that I heard this. I don't even want to guess, but there's more than half of the people arrested are not students at the universities. They have weapons.
Yes, they do.
Remember the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade? Lots of people out there.
Yep.
One little dispute happens here. People are shot. One person died.
Mm-hmm.
The radio show host in Kansas City was with their child at the time. And immediately, people are seizing on the gun control conversation. Nobody's talking about that anymore. We don't even talk about, there's nothing. Who are those people? Are we going to talk about who broke out into a fight there? Why they had guns in that place at that time? Why there were stray bullets flying at an event like that. I mean, that was political. It was like a political buffet for the Democrats to pick all of their different issues until they found out the details of the conversation, and then they were not helpful details. They just stopped talking about it. These are people who are coming here to cause problems. There are people who are infiltrating it. I mean, like, what do we have to do to fully root out the industry that is Protest Inc.? We have to show the full face of it, get to the bottom of it, so that when we see these things happen, we're like, we know what that is. It's not even real.
Yes.
It's not even accurate. You're not even advocating for anything other than chaos. They really are there to instill disruption and chaos. That's the commodity that they're marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, the Death to America stuff is really the point. Because they'll take any cause and just blow it up into the biggest thing they possibly can to try to cause problems in the United States because they hate the United States. I would love to see if somebody wanted to get really creative with legislation, and you'd have to be careful here because there are First Amendment rights. There are many different United States citizen rights that you would have here that you couldn't trample on. But I would love to see something like a 3-strike rule or a 5-strike rule that once you've been caught doing illegal activity, so not just protesting, but doing something illegal at a protest multiple times in your, like, you're going to have a record that you get to so many of those and the consequences get more severe. I don't know exactly what that would look like, but I do think there's something there if somebody wanted to get creative legislatively.
Well, there'll be more to talk about tomorrow. That's for sure. On the YouTube live chat poll for today, Ryan, do you like Kristi Noem?
I'm going to say no.
Brad?
No.
Did you say no?
No.
No.
Yes'm.
I'm a no. Like you said, I'd vote for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that stupid, but I don't prefer her.
Yeah, I've got to that place.
Do you have a VP candidate in mind? Like, who's the dream VP?
No, I don't.
Brad?
It's, man, I think it's Rubio. I think it's Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
Well, DeSantis. I mean, I would love DeSantis to be the VP.
It's the dream.
That would be the dream. But like Tomi Lahren was saying, it's going to be tough to pull off because of the Florida thing.
I am so happy to announce that Jay Keevan is officially filed to run in that race and beat out the Senate Democrats. Boys and girls. Boys. I am going to have a story for you tomorrow. These guys in here know how distracted I've been for the last hour and a half because
a lot going down.
It's been a wild, wild day. Thank you to everybody who came out to support us with signatures to help Jay Keevan. I'm going to tell the story tomorrow. 64% of you like Kristi Noem.
Okay.
Now we can move on with our day. The Mark Reardon Show on St. Louis's home for Conservative Talk, 97.1 FM Talk. Next.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash that you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the TrueHold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993. That's 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun. Always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again.